The LA Kings just been a funny animal about their goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick for so many years, and then flashes in the pan that quickly dissipate. And Vegas is a great example. They won with Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill. And that was good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup. And that, at a minimum, is what the Los Angeles Kings need to do.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
On and off the ice.
Steven Stamkos. You wonder, is that it for him with the Tampa Bay Lightning? He's the guy that's probably, with Marty St. Louis and Vinny LeCavalier, recognized as the all-time greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players. This is all about deciding whether or not the price is going to be right to keep your captain around and potentially keep him a Tampa Bay Lightning member for his entire career.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs game night, game 2 again on the road, this time in Jersey against Sheldon Keefe and the New Jersey Devils. And of course, the lead story is Dennis Hildeby, his NHL debut in goal for the Leafs tonight. Here's Coach Berube on that.
He's played well in preseason. Really liked his game in Montreal in preseason. So he'll be in net tonight.
Is he admitting to a kid who's playing his first NHL game, or do you leave him alone? How do you approach it?
Well, you leave him alone. Especially a goalie, I think. He knows what he's doing. He's had some experience, not a lot, but again, he's just going to go and do his job and play his game.
Why did he get the call versus a guy like Matt Murray, who obviously has a lot of experience, although he didn't play a lot last year?
Yeah, that's a management thing.
What sort of adjustments are you looking for in front of the goalie here tonight?
Yeah, we had traffic. You're talking offensively? Yeah, we had traffic last night. I think that we didn't capitalize on rebounds enough. I think we can go downhill a little bit more offensively. I felt times where we got pucks to the net, obviously, but we didn't get the rebounds enough for me.
What are some of the challenges that the Devils present?
Speed, skill for sure. They play a fast game. Their power play is dangerous, so a lot of speed and skill over there.
I know it's just 2 games, Greg, but do you see any differences in the style and how they're playing this year as compared to last year?
Well, there's some tendencies. There's different things for sure. They got a new coach, but in general, they play fast. I mean, with Pratt and Hughes and these guys, they can get behind you, and we got to make sure we keep them in front of us tonight.
How well do you know Sheldon?
Yeah, fairly well, yeah.
Did you talk to him before you took this job about what it's like?
A little bit, yeah. We spoke a little bit in the summer. I can't remember exactly when, but yeah. And also I got to know him last year a little bit at those meetings we had in Chicago with the league. We sat at a table together for a little bit. Very good coach, great guy.
Do you think his teams have a certain style? Have you picked up on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that he's very good with skilled players, and his teams have always scored a lot of goals.
Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference that he knows your team so well?
Well, of course, he knows the tendencies of all their players, the guys he's coached here for a number of years. So, but it's still you got to go out and play the game and execute. That's the bottom line.
Outside of the goalie, any lineup fingers team?
Yeah, Bobby McMahon will be in.
What are you looking for from him?
Well, using his size and his speed for sure. Being a power forward kind of player, that's what he should be. He can really skate and is strong on pucks, and take things to the net and get to the net offensively and be responsible defensively.
That is Coach Berube talking about Bobby McMahon at the end. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. So, Stu, did you see a drift in McMahon's camp performance that he wasn't a powered forward?
Yeah, a little bit, right? And we discussed it in our preseason game against Detroit. You know, when you're coming in with a new coach, you want to do something to make an impression. You don't want to have a zeros on the board. So, you know, you're looking at a game last night with Lorentz. Yeah, he only had 9 minutes, but he had 4 shots and 3 hits and 1 block. So when you take a look at that, that is a big, big impact on the game for a guy that doesn't have a lot of minutes. So I think for him, whether he's at, 12, 14, or 9, he has to find a way to get involved. And yes, he does have a lot of speed. He can go inside, outside, and, has a great shot from that outside. But he has to find a way to do something that's not being done on this roster. And sometimes it is. You have to go back to basics and get to the net. And as Coach Berube said, go downhill. And when he talks about that, it's when you circle around the net and you come back uphill and you do a little pirouette and you come back down. It's again just straight line hockey. Get to the net because those are the goals and that's the style of play that's going to be successful in the playoffs. So for McMahon, he didn't have a bad camp, but there were some guys that outperformed him with that opportunity. So I think for him, he just had to have a little bit more urgency. That's what was said to me a lot. You got to have that urgency and just find a way to find your role and carve out your role within this team, like a Steve Lorentz did coming in this year.
Yeah, Lorentz looked great last night, and I got to believe if you're on a line with him, you're going to notice that and pick up on it.
Yeah, and I coach the kids, and I have practiced last night with the U12s, and you got to watch your teammates. Watch what makes them successful. Watch the hard work and watch the angles or watch the routes that they're taking. But just watch the simplicity sometimes, right? It's one thing to watch the Matthews and the Marners. You're not going to be able to do those things because those are 2 world-class players. But, watching, a Lorentz just get to the net, and you saw him last night take a high stick and draw a penalty, just those little details that it's tough. It's tough. It's a lot tougher than people think. And if it was easy, I would still be playing right now as opposed to sitting with you, which I love doing. But it's a tough league, and some guys got to find a way to carve out that role. But it's a lot easier said than done, Tats.
Well, you'd rather be playing. Come on, let's be honest.
No. We had some good popcorn in the stands in the press box. I love it. Where's the hot dogs?
Frankie C was the connoisseur of popcorn, so you've got a tough act to follow, I got to say.
Oh, that's funny. Bring your own butter. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to harp on last night, but I mean, so I'm watching that game, I'm thinking they're not going to score. I mean, that was the vibe, and the cutting to the inside. So that's something that this team hasn't done. They're a high skilled team, and they like to skate around. They like the nice goal, but they've got to learn that. They've got to make that a default, don't they?
They do, and it's tough. And I have a lot of calcium deposits on my hips and my back because, I had to make a living there. And it's tough because it hurts. It hurts, and it's very, very punishing type of game. But when you do it as a culture and it's something that's ingrained in your system, it makes it a lot easier to score goals. And what it does now, it softens up the other team's opposition, especially on defense, because if they're working and trying to cross-check and push and scrape, scrap, and it's going to now make them tired in the second half of the game where the top guys can take over. But if you're just sort of standing on the perimeter, and I saw that a couple times too, the puck is sort of at the top of the point, and there was a couple forwards literally in the corner. I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe they're waiting for the 1-T pass. You got to get to that net because you're looking at goalies like the Hildebeests and Stolars. It's tough to beat them clean. You saw Matthews with the game on the line last night, and Montembeault was just square, and he didn't make the save. The puck just literally hit him. So you have to find a way to beat the goalies with some second and third opportunities, shots, redirects, second, third bang-in chances, and that's what you got to be ingrained in your culture because that's what's successful in the playoffs.
Okay, let me throw this at you. For a working-class player, learning a new way to score by using your body and creating space would be some sort of a discovery. For a high-skilled player, how difficult is that to learn?
It is, but you look at Austin Matthews, right? He scored 69 goals last year, and I could tell you he probably did it in about 25 different ways. He's not afraid to get to the net. He's not afraid of the high tip redirect, and sometimes it's cutting across the front of the net and then stopping and getting a rebound. But I look for me, a player that I can see is flirting with 25 goals this year is Matthew Nyes, where he plants himself in front and he's battling and competing. And what happens with that? Sometimes it goes off your legs, sometimes it goes off the backboards. pads or it hits the goalie for a rebound. Those are the goals that I think, if you want to score 20 in this league, you have to have 8, 9, 10 of those. So as a skilled guy, yes, it's tough, but when the going gets tough and you're coming off the side and trying to score off the rush, you have to find different ways. And if you want to be a goal scorer, you have to do it in variety. There's one player I think could make a living maybe off the flanks, and that is Ovechkin and Stamkos. Other than that, you got to get to the net if you want to score goals.
So, as you know, it takes a while for the schedule to sort of even out. So tonight, last night, Saturday night, home opener, and then next Wednesday against LA, and then it starts to pick up. In terms of growing pains, do you expect any, and what kind of growing pains are you looking for here?
For me, I would say probably the specialty teams, right? Because you have Lambert coming in with his penalty kill, and he's installing a new system where it's a little bit more pressure and really, getting in the other team's faces. So I could see maybe some guys blocking some shots, getting dinged up. And I think the power play as well with Mark Savard coming in too. So yes, you have an abundance of talent, but I think, with that new staff coming in, you got to sort of figure out what's going to work. So you're going to be tinkering with different lineups, tinkering with different positions on the ice. I think we've seen Austin Matthews since preseason maybe in 2 or 3 different positions. I saw him posted up in Gretzky's office for a couple games. I've seen him on the flank. I've seen him coming downhill. So I think the specialty teams is where you're going to see that growing pain. But that was a game last night where, yes, you're throwing 48 shots at the goalie. But typically with this group, you're going to go 2 for 4. You're going to score a goal and give this team an opportunity to get into the game. So specialty teams, as I see, where it's going to take probably about 10, 12 games to really get up to par and at the numbers that they were at last year.
Yeah, and the power play. I mean, it can be so lethal. I mean, I could have decided the game last night, but it didn't. It takes a little time to mesh that together, doesn't it?
It does. And again, I've been doing a lot of prep today, and a lot of it was they need a shot option from up top. And when in doubt, that's what you got to do. You just have to find somebody to pound the puck because that's the key. But I think for them as well, it's when that shot goes from the point and it doesn't go in, the ability to recover the puck. And that's another thing. And that's a great thing that great power plays do, that puck recovery. So I want to see a lot more of that. And I think Berube alluded to that. There was a lot of one and done plays where, again, the power play's got to be able to set up, have 2, 3, 4 shots of power play to really dismantle that team's defense.
I mean, really what solves this is reps. I mean, they just need to play more, don't they?
I think so. I think so, and that's what it is, and that's really, it's not a video game. You don't just plug it in and play, and you have the best players in the world, and you're going to start winning games. There's new systems, and what I think is trying to be changed here is just the culture, the way that the game is played, and this is a group that is tremendously talented, but it hasn't had the success in the playoffs. So I think now you're going to see probably a couple less wins than last year, but you're going to see a team better prepared to go, game 83 plus going into the playoffs. So there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some losing streaks. So I think it's everyone's also our job to sort of not panic, knowing and just sort of focusing on the things that they're doing well as opposed to things that they aren't.
Yeah, just a quick answer, about 30 seconds. So these two things, getting the team to play together and a young goalie going tonight. I mean, Craig Berube's got experience with both.
Yeah, he does. And for me, with Hildeby, again, I expect a really tight checking game, and it's not about just playing the New Jersey Devils 1-3-1 there. It's just really doing your best to insulate the goalie, not having him to make 2, 3, 4 saves in a row, and discipline. The best penalty kill is discipline, so I could see them staying out of the box tonight as well.
It's going to be an interesting ride. New Jersey with their home opener. So, again, back-to-back home openers on the road for the Leafs before they get their own Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. McMahon in and Reeves out. Hildeby in and makes his NHL debut. We'll set up the opening face-off for you next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Matt and Kate had bought their home in 2022 at the peak of the market. Every realtor they spoke with gave them disappointing news. Worried, frustrated, and believing that they would be taking a large financial hit, they didn't want to take any chances. So they reached out to the powerhouse real estate team of Franklin and Associates, the #1 RE/MAX team in Toronto and the GTA, servicing all of Ontario. The guaranteed multi-million-dollar marketing system was immediately put into action, reaching millions of potential buyers to find the ideal buyer. Well, in just 5 days, the property was sold for an amazing $114,000 over asking price. Matt and Kate were over the moon that they were able to get a great
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight during this Leafs versus Devils matchup, the second game of the season. We're up against the old coach, Sheldon Keefe, and the Devils. We're bouncing back tonight, Leafs. Let's go. Hit that Go Leafs Go in the chat, and as well, hit that thumbs up button. Please give us a like. It helps bring more Leafs fans into this awesome Toronto sports community, which we're doing a fine job of growing. So thank you so much for hitting that like button and hanging out with us. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
Football same game parlay, so you can ride with the guys each week all season long. NFL action starts with Overdrive, powered by FanDuel. Please play responsibly. 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. Visit connectsontario.ca.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Well, it gets interesting fast. Good start and a 1-0 shutout loss by New Leafs goaltender Stolarz last night. And tonight it's Dennis Hildeby making his NHL debut and goal for the Leafs. And how will the Leafs greet their former head coach Sheldon Keefe? Will they be able to hit the scoreboard? And how will they defend against the speedy Devils? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome aboard. Here we go. Our first broadcast of the season. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey live on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart reporting. And we have Joe Bowen and Jimmy Rouse standing by with their accounts and descriptions, getting them all in order. The starting lineup tonight for the Leafs is much the same as it was last night. Matthews between Marner and Nyes. Tavares between Nylander and Domi. Holmberg centering Robertson and Pacioretty. Camp centering Lorentz and McMahon on the blue line. Exactly the same. Riley Tanev, OEL and McCabe, Benoit and Timmins. Hildeby, Dennis Hildeby starts in goal for the Leafs. So let's go back to the lead story, Stu. Hildeby in goal tonight. Got to be some pressure on him, but also the team has to be responsible in front of him.
Yes, they do, and it's again, he's a goalie that's coming in with a lot of fanfare and a lot of expectations. A 6'7" goaltender. He had a .913 save percentage last year for the American League Toronto Marlies right now. So I think for now, what the Maple Leafs have to do, they just have to simplify their game. But if I'm Coach Berube, I'm writing a big 19 on the board. That's how many shots they had the first game versus first period versus the Montreal Canadiens last night. So I think they just have to simplify their game, continue to get shots, but do not cheat on the defensive side of the puck, because this New Jersey Devils team has some great high flyers. We heard Craig Berube talk about the Heischers and the Hughes and the Timo Meyers. If you now make neutral zone turnovers, this is the team that can really affect the game on that transition offense. So for them, simplify the game, just shots, and have your specialty teams be special if you want to get your first win of the season.
I gotta say, it's really nitpicky to do this. It's the only negative thing in the game last night that I saw was OEL pretty well took himself off the shootout list in the future with that breakaway. Whoa, boy.
Look like a young Dennis Weidman there. But again, it's the pressure. It is the pressure, and it's tough. And I remember sometimes going out there and making plays. I'm like, what did I just do? But sometimes it's the atmosphere, it's the fan, it's the expectation. So the National Hockey League is a hard league. But the good thing about OEL, he showed that he's a very capable option on that second line power play and distributing the puck. Again, I think he just got to work on his breakaways a bit, but it's the early season jitters, and I'm sure once the season gets along, he's going to settle down, and we'll see him score a breakaway sooner than later. I hope.
I hope. 103 shot attempts last night. I mean, that's not going to happen every night, and they're going to be forced to defend a bit more tonight. So how do you see this game starting?
I could see it starting the exact same way it did last night. You saw the Maple Leafs really get right into the opposition's defensive zone and really just get in, start owning the pucks, getting pucks on net. But I think the difference is they're going to see some more bodies on the net. I want to see guys to do a little bit more what Matthew Nyes was doing and just finding a way to fight through checks and get in front of the goaltender. If the goaltender sees it in today's NHL, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to make the save. But again, if I'm New Jersey, I'm not giving up 17 shots to that first line, because 9 times times out of 10, again, if they're giving up that many shots, they're probably going to be scoring 3-4. So for Toronto, you're not necessarily burning the video yesterday. You're just simplifying it, but just having a little bit more urgency in getting to that front of the net and trying to score a variety of different goals.
Okay, let's go to the other side of the ice. Sheldon Keefe, former Leafs coach, debuting with the Devils in a home situation. Obviously, he coached the first 2 games in Prague, and they won. So here's Coach Keefe, and if he sees similarities between this Devils team and the Leafs team he took over.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. In terms of the areas the team needs to grow in the most, I think it's pretty similar. There's some high-end talent on the group, in the group, and yeah, there's some similarities there for sure, but it also is unique in lots of ways as well.
What's this game mean to you?
I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I've never been in this situation before. We'll see when we get out there and the game gets going, but what does it mean to me? Not a lot, quite honestly. I mean, I got nothing but love from the people that are on the other side. And tremendous respect for everybody in the organization that treated me so well and the players that gave me so much. So to that end, it's going to be strange being on the other side. But, for us, it's our home opener. It's my first time in front of the Devils fans. So in that sense, I'm more focused on that. It's a little bizarre that the Leafs are coming in here, obviously. But other than the fact that we've got a lot to prepare for because it's a very good team to play against, and I'm on the other side now and getting a sense of what other teams have had to contend with, and dealing with what's been a top 5 or top 10 team in the regular season over the last number of years. So that's what my focus is on here tonight.
What was it like pre-scouting that game yesterday, just watching it?
Yes, it was different. It's my first time watching a Leaf game since my Marlies days, and it'll be my last. But yeah, it's just getting a feel for things. Quite honestly, there's a lot of similarities in how both teams want to play and things that we've been trying to establish and things that we did establish when we were there. So in terms of structure, it's pretty similar. There's some differences, neutral zone and in the D zone, but offensively, it's a lot of what you would expect.
That is Coach Keefe. So let me ask you this, Stu. The Leafs are there for the home opener in Montreal last night, home opener for the Devils tonight. Is that annoying or boring for the visiting team, or a combination of both?
It's probably a combination of both because, again, typically, when you come out after warm-up, you go through your routine and then you're ready to go. But then on top of that now, you got to wait another probably 12 to 17 minutes because you got to go through the introductions. They're introducing the players, the scratches, the doctors, the mascot, the ghost of Christmas past. Everybody's there. So I'm just happy. I think if I'm Toronto, I'm just happy they're not playing Florida and they're doing a ring ceremony. But that's par for the course. So I think for them, it's just getting the body prepared because what happens typically after warm-up, if you take too long, you get a little bit cold. So if I'm them, I'm just, finding a way just to get your routine, but stay warm and having a good start.
Okay, so a couple of minutes left. Let's go down the no guy road. What do you not want to see from the Leafs tonight?
I do not want to see a track meet. And when I say that, that's just a back and forth. And we saw that a little bit last night, I believe, in the first half of the second period where, a lot of one and done plays. You don't have an F3 and the team is just going off to the races for 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s. I really want to limit the odd man rushes. And I don't want to get into a penalty situation. And we saw some fans already commenting on X, and they don't want any backdoor passes because you don't want to have Hildeby overwork. You want him to stick to his strengths, which is fronting the puck, making those first saves. A lot of pucks are going to hit him, but what you don't want is him shell-shocked where he's got to find a way to make 4, 5, 6 saves in a 30-second time period. So just simplify the game. You're not sitting back in any sense of the word, but you're just simplifying it and helping out a goaltender because this could potentially be your goaltender of the future. And I'm telling you, I know some goalies personally that their career was not the same after their one game that they got shell-shocked for 4 or 5 goals. So find a way to limit the shots, find a way to limit the high danger opportunities, and let him play to his strengths.
All right, here we go. The opening faceoff is next. Joe Bone and Jimmy Ralph standing by. This is Leafs Game Night, Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Every fantasy football champion makes one defining move.
You are just a season-long fantasy football player. Don't overvalue wide receiver, cornerback. Seriously.
Fantasy Sports Radio can help you make that move.
Use your bench to improve your lineup. That's what your bench is for. This week is proving why that's the case.
Listen to the best analysts for lineup advice, trade questions, and roster moves. Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
The LA Kings just been a funny animal about their goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick for so many years, and then flashes in the pan that quickly dissipate. And Vegas is a great example. They won with Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill. And that was good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup, and that, at a minimum, is what the Los Angeles Kings need to do.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
On and off the ice.
Steven Stamkos. You wonder, is that it for him with the Tampa Bay Lightning? He's the guy that's probably, with Marty St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier, recognized as the all-time greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players. This is all about deciding whether or not the price is going to be right to keep your captain around and potentially keep him a Tampa Bay Lightning member for his entire career.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. And then,
Here's a chance. Oh, what a stop!
there were eight.
At the line, long drive, rebound, they scored!
Zadorov behind the net for Garland in front. Lindholm scores! As Martin backs it in. He's gone!
With the first round behind us, the battles only get more intense.
Blocked by Montour. Out in front, Bobrovsky!
Follow your favorite team.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue.
NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs continue their road trip to start off the 24-25 season with a stop in New Jersey. Freshly back from overseas after two big wins over the Buffalo Sabres. And Sheldon Keefe in behind the bench for the New Jersey Devils, the former head man of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The starting lineup is brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Dennis Hildeby will make his first ever start for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The 6'7" goaltender played very well in the preseason and will get the call for the Maple Leafs here this evening. Certainly it was a situation where the Maple Leafs played extraordinarily well in Montreal, but the old adage of a little bit of puck luck did not materialize despite a lot of shots, a lot of good opportunities, 3 goal posts, a breakaway from someone who should never have a breakaway again, and it ended up being a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, the 3 goal posts. Add that to the fact that the Austin Matthews line, Marner Matthews and Matthew Nyes, combined for 17 shots alone. Nyes had 5, Marner Matthews had 6 apiece. So most nights, the hockey gods are going to reward you, but if you're going to get a little lesson in sticking with it and maybe being a little sharper, Craig Berube did say after the game that he said our execution was off. Passes were just off. Getting the puck to the net was just off. That's got to get better.
Matthews' line starts with Marner and Nyes on the wings for the Maple Leafs. They'll defend the goal to the right. And it is McCabe along with Ekman-Larsson on the blue line as the Leafs move right to left. The puck is dropped and we're underway, and we're glad that you're along with it. A lot of expectation for the New Jersey Devils this year. A team that did not make the playoffs a year ago. They've made some major changes, especially in goal, where Jacob Markstrom gets the call and is backed up by Jake Allen. So both goaltenders, much like the Maple Leafs, are new to the surroundings in New Jersey as the Leafs get it up on the wing for Nyes on the right wing side. Tried to slide it into the slot. He did, but Matthews had headed for the bench as it's cleared out and into the center ice area where Morgan Riley takes charge. Christopher Tanev carries to the red line and shoots it in. Tavares after it. Markstrom will play it away from the Leaf centerman against the boards. It is poked back towards the blue line. Nylander keeping the puck in momentarily. It bounces to center, and now the Leafs have to go back into their own zone as it slides past Morgan Riley. Riley around the boards for Tanev. Little touch pass out for Tavares, but he turns the puck over into the slot now for Kovacevic, a shot, and that was blocked before it reached the front of the net. Nylander for Tavares, who's in. A long shoot in. Easy blocker save for Markstrom. Puck along the boards as the Leafs are getting a change in. A wraparound attempt there by Pacioretty. Just failed to connect. Kept in by Robertson. Along the boards for Pacioretty. To Robertson again. Going to the net. Backhand went off a stick and went wide. Robertson after it once more as it comes to the line. But now McCabe able to get it turned around onto his forehand to play it around back of the net. Leafs with some good pressure here in the early going of him, the Devils in their own zone. Kovacevic gets it out and down into the Toronto end. This will force Oliver Ekman-Larsson back into his own zone. A long lead pass has gone astray, and an icing call will come here against the Maple Leafs and back into Toronto territory.
Well, sometimes you get lucky with a signing, and the New Jersey Devils did with Jack Hughes. When they signed him, Joe, to his 8-year, $64 million deal, at the time of his signing, he had 55 points, 20 of them goals in 119 games. Since signing, he has 94 goals and 228 points in 189 games.
Not bad.
So
that's good at getting benefit on your dollar, isn't it?
Yeah, and and from the player's standpoint, they showed confidence in him early when the points weren't there, and now it's a very team-friendly contract for them going forward.
Leafs get it down into the offensive zone. McMahon, the only change up front for the Maple Leafs, as he is in the lineup and Reeves out. A shot by Lorenz has gone off a stick and up into the screen and out of play at the Prudential Center in lovely downtown Newark, New Jersey, as the Leafs, who have gone 7-2-1 in their last 10 against the Devils, but were 1-2-0 against the Devils a year ago.
Pontus Holmberg scored his first NHL goal in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. With a 2-1 game where the Devils had about 3 goals called back.
Brought out by Dougie Hamilton. And across the line, the Devils gain the zone. A pass partially blocked. It comes back to the point. Dillon with a shot that doesn't make it through. And now it's turned over at the blue line, and a shot and a co-save there made by Hildeby. I think that's the first shot on goal that the youngster has had to handle, and he did it rather adroitly. Matthews ahead for Marner, circling in his own zone. Matthews catching up on the rush. Long bouncing shot into the glove of Markstrom, and he will hold on with Matthews bearing down on him. 227 consecutive regular season games without being shut out that ended. And how many times that your good luck on making sure that the bad luck was being forced on somebody by making sure we knew about a shutout?
274 times.
27. It is amazing. Can't talk about a no-hitter. Can't talk about a shutout. No, we're not superstitious. Of course not.
Knock on wood.
Can you pass my rabbits? Played up the boards by the Leafs out at center. Devils will regroup, wait for teammates to get on side, and Nason sends it down into the Leaf end. Tanev starts back up ice for Toronto. Weaves to the right wing side, gains the center line and shoots it in. Down the boards, Domi, unable to track it down. Devils get it around for Cotter on the far side, and Paul Cotter gets it out. On the right wing side, Lazar getting it down on the end boards. There is Nylander against the wall trying to free it up, but couldn't. Now Timmins tries the other side, and the Leafs are going to chip it and get it out into the center ice area. Cotter with it again, turns back to his own blue line. Approaching 4 minutes played, no score, first period. Leafs and the Devils. The Devils with a couple of wins against the Buffalo Sabres overseas to get their season going. And they did it in impressive fashion as a quick shot by Robertson is swallowed up by Jacob Markstrom.
Leafs with a slight edge in shots now 2-1. Cotter, by the way, that you just mentioned, has scored in each of the first 2 games for the New Jersey Devils. They'll open the season in Czechia against the Buffalo Sabres. And right away, the 2 losses to start the season has Buffalo and their fans reeling a little bit. Edmonton Oilers started the season similar to what they did last year as well.
The Sabres entertain the LA Kings tonight, as the Devils go back into their own zone, play it out at center. That bounced over the Leaf stick, cleared around the boards by Hildeby, up on the wing, and it is Pacioretty now fighting for it, but it comes back to the point, kept in there by Meyer. Off on the wing, it comes back to the blue line once more. Kovacevic to the left wing side. A shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. And with time and space, a lead pass attempted there by Toronto has gone astray. And an icing call is coming here, which gives us an opportunity to inform you that Gord Dwyer and Francis Charon are the referees. Brian Pancic and Libor Suchanek are the linesmen. No score, first period, nicely underway. The Leafs return home to host the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night. Kind of interesting that the former manager and the former coach are coming back to back as far as playing Maple Leafs. But
Pittsburgh, rough start against the New York Rangers last night. 6-0 loss.
Robertson hustles down into the corner, can't get the puck away from Dillon. And bringing it out now is Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton with a pass. It goes off the stick and down into the Toronto zone. Around back of the net now for Riley, and Tanev played it to the line. Not out. Long shot. Drifts high and wide of the 6'7" goaltender down there. Boy, you look down there and you say, is he playing in front of a mini net? Have they changed the size of the goal at one end?
Yet the save he's made was a pretty good kick save.
That's right. One going to the low corner, wasn't it? Riley in his own zone. Rink wide to find Lorentz. And Steven Lorentz dumps it in. Camp goes in there after it. McMahon trying to add support up against the end boards. They have their skates wrapped around it. Tipped by McMahon, but he can't get it back cleanly to the blue line, and it comes out at center. And so Timmins is back there to recover. Timothy Liljegren not in the lineup. Philip Myers also a scratch this evening. Neither played in Montreal. Ryan Reeves, who did dress and play last night, is replaced by McMahon in the lineup this evening. Leafs get it up on the wing and punched out at center ice by Nyes. And Matthews trying to straddle the line, plays it back to the near side, and now here's Marner in over the line. Marner trying to play it back to the blue line. Matthews keeps it into the slot, and having it roll off his stick was Jake McCabe when he was right between the circles. In along the boards, Nyes sending it to the other side to Marner. Marner holds, got it in front for Matthews. He hit the post again, and the puck comes spraying out into the center ice area. Here's Matthews in again. Nyes dropping it back, and a shot by Ekman Larson is stopped. And then Matthews got bowled over into the goaltender. And the crowd reacting to that. Puck back down into the Toronto end. Along the boards and out at center, and now Nylander with speed down the right wing. Trying to get a bouncing puck to behave, and it wouldn't. Now along the boards, Nylander unable to come up with it. And the Devils get it out at center ice. Brought in over the line by Siegenthaler. Dropped back with a pass into the left wing corner. Trying to get there was Meyer. That didn't work. It comes back along the boards for Jesper Bratt. He plays it around the boards to the point. Kept in by Meyer. In along into the corner. Looking is Namack to try and get it in front. Now up against the boards, Morgan Riley finds a little bit of skating room. Got it up on the wing, and the Leafs are going to ice the puck, or are they? Domi is hustling after it. And a bit of a, well, close call, but all right, we'll give it to them. Icing against the Leafs.
I'm with you. It looked like there was going to be a scoring chance if Domi gets there first. But Austin Matthews, what did he hit last year post? 21, 22?
Yep.
Around there?
Yep.
And now he's already clanked 2 off the iron here in the early part of this season. Hit the crossbar in a backhand opportunity last night, second period.
When he had a chance to tie the game with just a second or so left last night, too, did he not?
Canadians did a really good job of getting their sticks in the way of shots and passes when the Leafs are in tight on Montembeault.
Played up on the wing. Domi is able to chip it out into the center ice area. And the Devils are back into neutral ice now. Nason will shoot it in. Reversed by Benoit. Chipped up on the wing. Robertson got it out. Robertson carries on in on the right side with speed. Through the defense and then was tackled. Oh, that's nice. The official pointed at it. Said, yeah, that was a good tackle. Now a bouncing puck in front. They score! The Leafs have got on the board first. On a scramble in front of the net, and it is Pacioretty who will open the season scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Last year it was Noah Gregor, a newcomer, opening the season, finding the back of the net. This all starts, though, with a great rush by Nick Robertson as he jumps through the defense, taken down. Probably should have been a penalty called there. But Robertson then picks the puck up from behind the net, throws it out front. Markstrom got into full scramble mode. And finally, you talk about puck luck and bounces, Joey. Pacioretty found the bouncing puck on his stick and was able to shovel it in before Markstrom could dive to his left.
So the Maple Leafs open the scoring for the first time this season and lead it by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, how there was no penalty on Robertson's attempt is a bit of a mystery.
For Max Pacioretty, his 904th game played, 331st goal is a fanning shot there on a setup. And the Devils trying to counterattack now with numbers, and a shot goes high over top of Hildeby and now pushed out at center ice for McMahon. One man back. McMahon looking for help. Now tries to make a move into the slot area, and as he got spun around, couldn't continue to get the shot on the net as he was taken down by Dougie Hamilton. 669 points for the veteran Pacioretty. As it's played out into the center ice area now, here the Devils across the line. Played down into the corner, a centering pass didn't reach its intended target. It comes back to Hamilton at the right point, a pass into the slot. A stick save made there by Hildeby. He's trying to find the puck, still down. Puck goes around back of the net, and a strong stick demonstrated there by Ekman Larsson as he's able to flip it out and not bring an icing, just get it into Devils territory.
Yeah, the flip down the ice might have been as impressive. It was like the perfect curling rock. Get it out of trouble and get a line change.
Now Benoit turns the puck over, and a wrist shot taken by Bastian went high and wide of the Leaf goal. 5-3 Toronto with shots. Here's Domi and across the line, but had it knocked off his stick back into Toronto territory. Benoit to his defense partner Connor Timmins. Right-handed shot gets it ahead. Boy, the crowd's really into it, aren't they? They're roaring on every body contact. Benoit works it through center, off a stick, and the Devils have it back in their own zone. We are halfway through the first period. 1-0 Toronto. Played down into the Toronto zone. So on your wager and parlor, did you have Pacioretty scoring the first goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs sometime last, May, June?
Yeah, when he wasn't signed?
Yes. When he wasn't on a PTO?
Yeah, you might have done okay on that.
Yes. Played ahead by the Leafs looking for a lead pass, but it was too far, but the goaltender has to play it. Now brought in by Robertson. Left wing side, got it into the slot, but Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. Knocked down by the glove of Ekman Larsson. This could be a glove pass. No, it's going to be waved on. Brought in over the line. And now the Devils will play it out at center.
I'm with you. I think that was gloved down and Robertson picked it up.
And I think if they had scored, they probably would have had it washed out. But play on, McDuff. Into the corner on the far side. A shot scores! Bobby McMahon with the shot from the right point. There was traffic with Lorenz in front. But McMahon has staked himself to a spot. Oh, yeah? Don't start me in the opener? I'll show you some goal scoring. And it's 2-0 Toronto.
It's exactly what you want. I mean, Bobby McMahon, I don't know if you would say is your classic fourth-line player. This may have gone off the stick of the skate blade of Casey, the defenseman, in front of Markstrom. Because this is just thrown to the net and eludes Markstrom low blocker side. And the Leafs get nothing on 47 shots. Last night, they found the net twice and just 6 shots so far tonight.
Holmberg and Timmins drew the assists on the Pacioretty goal. We'll wait for the official announcement on the Bobby McMahon tally. As it is pushed out into the center ice area. Now, we talked about Pacioretty's numbers. Well, Bobby McMahon hasn't got that many. That's number 16 in his career.
Well, the 15 last year.
Yep.
His scoring didn't really start until January.
No, when he wasn't supposed to play.
Yeah.
Shot into the corner in the Devil zone. Matthews hustles after it, got it around back of the net, but it went off Marner's glove. Now with Marner keeping it in to the left wing side to Domi, dropping back for Riley. Back to Domi. Domi looking in front of the net. Matthews had his stick too well covered. Matthews comes away with the loose puck, though. He'll play it along the wall. Here's Nylander now, working wide on the right wing side. Nylander goes to the side of the goal, tried to stuff it in, and it was knocked away by Markstrom. Back to the point. It's going to come out at center as the Leafs were in the midst of a change. McCabe draws the lone assist, and a shot is blocked by Nico Hischier.
Yeah, that came up and caught him. And fortunately for Hischier and the Devils, he's back on his feet, making his way to the Devils bench on his own.
So it's McMahon from McCabe at 11:29. And the Maple Leafs have their first 2-goal lead of the fresh season. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
For the latest updates on Hurricane Milton, tune to alerts from the Weather Channel. What to expect and who may be impacted.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. When severe weather is impacting any part of the country, a live simulcast of the Weather Channel for the latest information to keep you safe and informed.
Tune to alerts from the Weather Channel for the latest information on Hurricane Milton.
Whenever active weather is breaking, alerts from the Weather Channel on the SiriusXM app. Just search weather.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Cheers to all the new Maple Leafs fans in the chat hanging out with us tonight. Please, don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button. It's time for you to join this awesome community. Make sure you hit that bell so that you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs game. Thank you for finding us. It's so great to see all of the insiders back in the chat last night and again tonight. So cheers to all of you. Let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
We need to translate to the fans. We need to be protagonists. We need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Face-Off being brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca.
By the way, that game we were talking about, February 13th, I thought it was January. It was February. The Leafs won a rare game at home against the St. Louis Blues. Tavares and Mitch Marner were late scratches out of the lineup. Bobby McMahon wasn't supposed to play. Got in. 3-goal night in a 4-1 win. Third goal into an empty net. 2 games later against Anaheim, a 2-goal night. He got on a roll. Sheldon Keefe is sitting over the New Jersey bench saying, I started this. I started all this.
Yes. I'm the reason for this mess. Well, the mess has got the Leafs out in front 2-0. Cross the line, offside, called by the linesman as Rush bogged down a little bit there with Nylander trying to get over the blue line. So the Leafs scoring on 2 of their 6 shots. So the shooting percentage has gotten a tad bit better over the course of the season, Mr. Ralph, which is now 2 days old.
Yeah, 2 for 53 now, right?
Yes. Holmberg, Robertson, Pacioretty out there for Toronto. So the third line and the fourth line have done the scoring at this particular point. Played out into the center ice area. Ekman-Larsson gets it across the line. Pacioretty's able to drag it in along the boards, but couldn't get it out in front. And the Devils will recover the puck and now flip it as Mercer sends it high into the Toronto end, but had a little extra on it and wasn't across center ice, and it is an icing call that'll be brought back into New Jersey territory.
Well, the New Jersey Devils in 2017, Joe, it had 4 top 5 picks, including Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, and Simon Nemec. So they're a team that had to rebuild through the draft. A lot of long seasons. Last year was an off year for them. Goaltending struggles. Looked like they were able to get Jake Allen out of Montreal a little too late. So they've shored that up. Then they had some injury problems as well. Jack Hughes never finished the season, left with shoulder surgery.
Well, you can add Dawson Mercer to that list of draft picks. Wasn't that year, but subsequently. Shot from the point. That went well wide of the New Jersey goal. Kept in by Riley. Nyes back of the goal. Battles, but can't come up with it. Cleared high and out into center ice, forcing Riley back to his own blue line. He'll go D to D to find his defenseman, and a lead pass for Marner did not connect. Puck around the boards on the near side. Matthews unable to get to it. Out come the Devils to center. Marner chasing back on a drop pass that's going to come all the way back out at center ice. Marner had very little to do with the actual pass, but the fact that he hustled all the way back there to break the rush up had as much of an impact on it as anything, as Lorentz gets it down into the offensive zone for Toronto. Lorentz reverses the puck, trying to come out in front of the net. There was Camp, a backhand, scores! Steven Lorentz, the Kitchener native and newest Leaf, and it's not lines 1 and 2, it's 3 and 4.
Too early to have Brad Treliving as Executive of the Year. 2 newcomers have found the back of the net here in the first period. And Steven Lorentz, who had but a single goal in the regular season last year with Florida, did get one in the preseason, but here it's a bouncing puck between the hash marks. McMahon tried for it first, had his stick lifted, and then Steven Lorentz whacks a backhand up under the crossbar to give the Leafs a 3-0 lead on just 8 shots here in the opening period.
Well, you mentioned that goal. Well, it was November the 2nd of last year against Detroit. So that stops a 30-game drought for Steven Lorentz. And the Leafs have a 3-0 lead here in the first period. 4:53 left to play in it.
And if you're Sheldon Keefe, you're thinking the big boys haven't shown up yet.
Centering pass, gloved and knocked down by Hildeby. And the Hildebeest, as he is called with the Marlies.
But the big thing with Lorentz, Joe, misses the opportunity, but then gets in on the forecheck, takes the man, and eventually puck comes loose, and he's the one that finishes it all off.
3-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616.
The best way to experience the brilliant autumn colors? How about a country drive in your certified pre-owned Toyota from Maple Toyota? See their wide range of pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Many were originally purchased new at Maple Toyota. That means you're getting quality with a proven track record of regular service by Toyota's certified technicians. Vehicles are marked with the lowest price for a no-haggle, stress-free experience. This fall, when the Maples turn to Maple. Visit mapletoyota.com.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
So the Maple Leafs with a 3-0 lead here in the first period. Pacioretty, McMahon, Lorentz, all of the big boys have punched one in here to get their seasons rolling on their way possibly to 50 goals each this year. You think? Deflection, and tracking that rather well was Hildeby to get a pad in front of it.
The funny thing is, and I think this has to happen a lot more often, scoring ugly. None of these 3 goals are going to go on the highlight reel at the end of the year as, boy.
Excuse me, the Lorentz family already has this rotating nicely on their phone in Kitchener.
As they should.
As they should.
But they're old. Well,
good save by Hildeby right off the face-off as he got a glove out and
but they're
stopped
old,
that.
They're the type of goals you need in the postseason. You know, just throw it to the net. Win the one-on-one battles for the loose pucks. And that's essentially what Craig Berube has just said. I want to be known as a team that wins the one-on-one battles. And the 3 goals they've scored in the first period have been a great example of that.
Riley gets it ahead, and Matthews on to Marner across the line for Matthews. Back in looking for Riley, but the pass was a little bit too high, and Riley couldn't knock it down. Back come the Devils. Hamilton through center will shoot it in. Hildeby can't slow it up back of the net. It comes around into the near corner. Tanev quickly to Riley. Riley, a nice little elusive move to get it free, and Nyes is escaping on the left wing. He'll flip it into the corner on the left wing side. Matthews got there a little late, and the Devils then almost had it stolen by Nyes. Boy, he would have had Matthews alone in front of the net. In over the line now, a chance for Jasper Bratt, and Jasper Bratt had to go off wide of the Leaf goal. 3:42 to go in the first period, and the Leafs with a 3-0 lead. Launched high, back down into Toronto territory. Timmins plays it out at center, knocked down by Robertson. Robertson gains center and backhands it deep. Back of the net, Pontus Holmberg coming out. Got it back into the slot area, near side for Ekberg, and that was stopped as Ekman Larsson let it go. There's a scramble going on in front of the net. Ekman Larsson drives it again, but it's blocked. The Leafs get it once more, but can't get it freed up in time to get a shot away, and they'll have to go back to their own blue line.
Almost got another ugly one, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Gonna have to find a way to get Ekman Larsson out quicker. There's a lot of lot of vowels and a hyphen in there. Brought to center by Bastian. He'll play it down into the Toronto end for the Devils. Tried to center. That came to the side of the goal. Chipped along the wall. Cut off by Hamilton. Sent towards the net. It went wide. And now Lorentz finds an opening to get it to Morgan Riley, who has time and space to play it out at center. Nicely tipped there by McMahon. Gets it back again. And McMahon wired one, but it went off Hamilton's stick and up into the screen and out of play. Your assessment, never mind the goal scoring. We've talked about that. What about the big fella in the twine tent?
It's been just like we saw him in preseason. Confident, great movement, and pretty agile for a big guy.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hold the entire show. Hold the show.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
The New York Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Wow.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This should have been done in the off-season.
And expert analysis on NFL Radio.
Aaron wants to do it Aaron's way. This reminds me of Favre and Mangini all over again.
Live sports talk when you need it on Sirius XM and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because...
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with us with this awesome community of Toronto sports fans here on TSI tonight for the Leafs game. Please share this link out to your friends, put it on the social boards, put it out on social media. However, let's get more people here in the chat hanging out with us, and the best way to do that is for you to share this link. I can only do so much on my end. We'll get back to it. Now let's go get our friends and have some fun in the chat. We'll see you guys back in there. Cheers, everybody.
Lorentz from David Camp. And the Maple Leafs have a 3-0 lead here in the first period, as the faceoff wasn't done according to Hoyle.
And that game that Bobby McMahon of St. Louis, it was John Tavares and Mitch Marner. Last minute scratches. And McMahon scores his first hat trick.
A shot by Riley, who was hoping for a redirection, didn't get it, and an easy save by Jacob Markstrom.
I think Markstrom's fighting it a bit, isn't he? I mean, it hasn't been an easy start in the sense that very scrambly in front, a lot of bouncing pucks, some redirections. The Leafs have been very good going to the net, providing the screen.
Markstrom hasn't really had a lot of good luck against the Leafs. He's 5-8-1 lifetime with a 2.91 goals against average and a .904 save percentage in those games, all with Calgary, of course. Back down into the Toronto zone, and we have a whistle, and we have our first penalty.
The Leaf penalty, maybe. Is it Tavares going off? This could be rather key for yes.
91, 2-minute interference.
Tavares gone for interference, and with 2:01 to go in the opening period, this is a great opportunity for the Devils to get on the board and try to build some momentum.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
Craig Berube might have been saying it was a dive.
Might have?
There might have been a word before dive.
Oh.
I thought he said it was a dive.
Okay. The Devils against Buffalo were 1 for 6 in the 2 games. Centering pass comes back to Hamilton, near side. Back to Hamilton again, quickly to Pratt. Pratt with a shot, blockered, and with a crowd, and I mean a crowd, in front of that Toronto goal. It is set out and down the ice.
Yeah, you'd still like to see somebody on the points a little more, Joe.
Now here's Marner stealing the puck. The Leafs are going to send it back, and try to stretch things out a bit. And Christopher Tanev, after being a little bit pressured, sends it all the way down the ice. Minute 25 in the period. Minute 23 now in the power play. And knocked down was Hamilton. And the Leafs, despite the protestations of Hamilton and the crowd, are not going to be two men short for the second game in a row. Pass into the left wing side. Bratt with a centering pass. Down is Hildeby. And the Hildebeest has got it underneath him. Big save made by the youngster.
And he had to get over quick. Little backdoor play that comes from the left wing side to the far post. And Hildeby somehow is able to get over. Now, the one thing was, Jack Hughes, Joe, got it on his forehand, but was facing the passer, so then had to turn his body and try to sweep it towards the net. And that split second allowed Hildeby the time to get over.
Now the Devils win the face-off. Hamilton over on the left wing side. Hughes trying to get it in front. It comes back to Hamilton. Bouncing puck trying to contain. Gets it into the slot. Back to Hughes on the left wing side. Jack Hughes works into the corner. Hughes still with it. Now to the side of the net. Centers into the goal crease. Cleared in front. Pratt with a shot. He scores. The Leafs had a chance to clear. But when they did, they didn't get enough on it. And Jesper Bratt is the beneficiary of the clearing attempt, and he makes it 3-1 on the power play.
But maybe the Leafs would look at this possible goaltender interference. Nico Hischier is in the blue paint. Does he back into? Boy, I mean, there's contact made with Hildeby. No,
not enough, I don't think, Jimmy.
Yeah, he actually gets out of the way as the shot is coming.
Yeah,
no, that's a good goal.
Yep.
41.1 seconds. It was more Hildeby's reaction and where Hischier was after the puck went in. Shots are now actually even at 11 apiece.
First goal of the season for Bratt. He had an assist in Czechia as it's cleared down into the Toronto zone. Pushed to the line, but not out. Kept in by Sigenthaler. Down into the corner now for Paul Cotter. Cotter is taken to the boards. One hands it into the slot area, and it's off the stick of McMahon and pushed out at center ice. McMahon pushes it further, and now David Camp can't come up with it as it's back into the Toronto end. And a race for the puck here, and Morgan Riley with great skating ability there is able to take it down into the corner. A bank pass back to the blue line with 6 seconds left. A long shot is blocked. 2 seconds left, and the shot deflects into the corner, and there's the horn that will end a solid first period for the Maple Leafs, despite the fact they give up that power play goal at 19-18. It is the third and fourth lines that come up with goals to make it 3-1.
It's funny, the Leafs penalty kill of the preseason, for what it's worth, was perfect until the final game. Then they give up the only goal of the game on the power play to Montreal last night, and 0 for 1 on the kills so far tonight.
And it is an area that has to improve over a year ago, which was, well, let's take a quick glance at that. 23rd in the National Hockey League, 76.9%. We've got Anthony Stewart standing by with Jim Taddy and our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play.
Hey, hockey fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Please check the link that is pinned in the chat. We are still running our Sick Kids Hospital campaign, our fall drive for Create 100K. Please take a look at our campaign page to see the work that we've done so far, and please add to that if you can. If you can't, please share it out and let's see if we can't make a difference in our community. Thank you all for taking the time to check that out, as well as help support a big partner to this channel and this community of Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Let's go back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Let's finish this one strong.
A funny animal about their goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick for so many years, and then flashes in the pan that quickly dissipate. And Vegas is a great example. They won with Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill. And that was good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup, and that, at a minimum, is what the Los Angeles Kings need to do.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
On and off the ice.
Steven Stamkos. You wonder, is that it for him with the Tampa Bay Lightning? He's the guy that's probably, with Marty St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier, recognized as the all-time greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players. This is all about deciding whether or not the price is going to be right to keep your captain around and potentially keep him a Tampa Bay Lightning member for his entire career.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
And then
Here's a chance. Oh, what a stop!
there were eight.
Grab the line, long drive, rebound, they scored!
Zadorov behind the net for Garland in front. Lindholm scores!
As Martin backs it in, he's got
With the first round behind us, the battles only get more intense.
blocked by Montour. Out in front, Bobrovsky!
Follow your favorite team.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue.
NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Lorentz reverses the puck, trying to come out in front of the net. There was Camp, a backhand scores! Steven Lorentz, the Kitchener native and newest Leaf, and it's not lines 1 and 2, it's 3 and 4.
3-0 at that point. 3-1 is the score for the Leafs over the Devils after 20 minutes of play. TSN after 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Wow, guy, get control of yourself. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Well, that's a mangled line, but the Leafs lines were not mangled. Stu, help me out with this. I mean, the bottom 6 forwards were stupendous.
Yes, it's almost as if instead of listening to the top of the charts, they're listening to 1050 radio pregame for us, because they seem to be activating exactly what we were discussing, and that's just Craig Berube's system, and it's simple hockey. And the one thing I noticed was in years past with this group, it's a lot of perimeter play, but on most of those goals, when you see that puck go in the net, it's obviously a big hit, a turnover, managing the puck, but there's bodies and there's layers in front of the net. And Markstrom, he's a great goaltender, but when you have a goaltender that is that big with size, you have to find a way to get in his eyes and take his time and space away, and that's what the Leafs did on all 3 of those goals.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it's there's a physicality to those lines, but they're not driving people through the boards. They're gaining their own space, aren't they?
Yeah, and they did an amazing job through the first 9 minutes in keeping the New Jersey Devils only to 1 shot, but they just seem like a bigger, faster, quicker group. And again, they're going in, not necessarily running guys through the boards, but they're having good sticks. They're coming in good angles. They're managing the puck on the neutral zone. They're not skating past pucks. They're finding a way just to keep it simple, north-south hockey, and that's going to be a common theme with this group. And it's one thing to talk about the system and activate the system, but there seems like there's a belief with this group, and I know it's extremely early in the season, and you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but if they play this style of hockey, it's going to have success not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs as well.
So, maybe it's the bottom 6 guys that are picking up this because that's how they have to play, and the top 6 will figure it out. I want to go back to the preseason games. Their best games were the B lineups, and they executed the Berube system excellently, and so it takes time to assimilate.
100%. And, Craig Berube, he's not asking you to do nothing that he didn't do himself. And he made a living playing that hard game. So I think for him, too, it's not just telling them about it. It's explaining through it, going through them, teaching them what they need to do on a regular basis. And, I always had a coach that used to tell me, watch what Gary Roberts does. And he just finds a way to get the puck below the dots and just go to work. And just that belief in that, the cycle plays, the wearing down the other team's offense, and just keeping your skill plays and high risk plays to a minimum until you get it below those circles, it's very, very successful. But I think the main thing is he's done a great job in creating that competition within that bottom 6, saying if you're going to have a game or 2 off, you might be sitting in the press box, as you saw with Bobby McMahon, who responded tonight in scoring the game's second goal of the night.
I have to say I was a little concerned the first 5 minutes because New Jersey seemed to want to forecheck the Leafs, and they were doing a good job. They were creating turnovers, but the Leafs' answer was just don't spend any time in your zone, right?
Yes, and just watching a little bit and zeroing in on Chris Tanev's game, he just seems like he is a breakout machine where he just doesn't seem to panic. There could be 1-2 bodies on him, and he doesn't necessarily make the right play. He makes the better play. And when you have a defenseman that goes back and knows what to do and just makes it an easy, simple pass, it's just such an easy way to break out and just has, these top players go in on offense. So I've noticed they've capitalized on the D-zone mistakes and neutral zone mistakes that New Jersey has made, but I think it starts in the back end with the D this year, getting the puck up ice and not spending that much time in their own zone.
So let's go to the lead story. Dennis Hildeby debuts his NHL debut tonight, and they played really well in front of him, and you could see him handle the puck more, gain confidence as the period wore on, right?
Yeah, what a big save on Hughes there, coming across the crease there late right before they scored that first goal. But he just seems, he's one of those goalies. And, I talk about the Carey Prices, and I'm not making that comparison. But when I played against Price and the Picarenes, they would just find a way to almost just get in front of the puck and let the puck hit them. And when you have that tremendous size, you just got to find a way to get in front of pucks. So for him, he was very, very solid. And with the way that this team is playing their system, they do not need spectacular. They don't need him going across the crease. And I explained the Jonathan Quicks of the highlight acrobatic saves. You just have to find a way to get in front of the pucks. And what I've noticed, other than the one that beat him, he's making that first save, and he's clearing those rebounds out of that traffic area. So for me, it's early. Yes, it's one period, but I have full confidence in the goaltenders right now. So that's 3 out of 4. We've yet to see Matt Murray, so we'll see how he's doing down the line. But I'm very, very confident in the goaltending right now by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So on the way out, what do the Leafs have to guard against, or how should they start that second period?
I noticed they got into a little bit of trouble in the second half. We're talking about that north-south hockey. When they're doing their entries, they're making that pass, trying to find that F3, and it's not necessarily hitting its mark. Again, you don't really have that rhythm of the game or the feel of the season yet, as it's really, really early. You just have to find a way to keep advancing the pucks. If you continue to get the pucks below the dots, you're going to wear down those D, where you can now score 4, 5, 6 goals. So for them, manage the puck, stop going south-north, keep the puck going north-south.
TSN After 20 Minutes is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you, with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They could help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-318-1940. That's 1-800-318-1940. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-318-1940. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-318-1940. Ontario license number 4705787. 866.
What makes a job in the skilled trades at Ontario Power Generation different? For starters, we're not just welders, electricians, millwrights, and boilermakers. We are sustainable future builders. And every day, we're building, expanding, and innovating the equipment and technology that keeps Ontario powered with clean, reliable energy. Are you ready to start a career that has the power to electrify life on and off the job? Apply now at opg.com/jobs.
Another day, another routine. What if you could escape, just for a little while? Hit refresh with an all-inclusive vacation, cruise, or flight to paradise. And cherish what really matters. The community of experts at Sell Out Vacations have your back with great deals that make finding your happy place easy. The path to better days is clear. Happy travels from
selloutvacations.com. We all know things tend to break when you need them most, like your furnace breaking down in the middle of a cold snap. That's why Enercare is offering a free furnace checkup for homeowners in the GTA. That's a $99 value. If your furnace has any issues, our Enercare experts can fix it, or we can get you a new one as soon as the next day. Don't get stuck shivering. Keep your home comfortable with Enercare. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enercare.ca.
Enercare, experts at home.
Getting the urge to redecorate? Now's the time. It's Seco Days. Save up to 50% on Seco's best paints. Paints we're proud of for projects you'll be proud of. Hurry! Deal ends October 16th. Find your paint at seco.ca.
This segment presented by Subaru. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
The Out of Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra or RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have in the first period. Islanders 1-0 over Utah. It is the Kings and Sabres scoreless after 20 minutes of play. After the first, Boston 3-2 over the Habs in Boston. It is the Panthers trailing Ottawa 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. And in our game, Leafs 3-1 over the Devils. The rest of the card has yet to start. We'll be back with the second period next on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 and the all-new SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB postseason heroes. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 22nd. Must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs 3, the Devils 1 after 20 minutes of play from the Prudential Center in downtown Newark, New Jersey. The second period is being brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it. The Leafs will defend the goal to the left where Dennis Hildeby. I would think that he has to look at the other net and say, that's one of my idols.
Yeah.
Hey, Jacob Markstrom, both are Swedes. Hildeby just 23 years of age. I'm sure it's a special night for him. Now, it was supposed to be a special night for Anthony Stolarz. He's from New Jersey. Apparently, he has paid for about 60 tickets to sit and watch him sit on the end of the bench. And that wasn't the plan. The plan, of course, was Wall starts last night. Stolarz starts tonight. Everybody's happy. They're drinking and having a wonderful time watching their guy in the net. Instead, he's opening a door, if he's lucky.
Like going to a Broadway show and the understudy is...
Yeah. Hence the term, break a leg.
Yeah. But I'm sure Stolarz has got to be happy. Obviously not with taking the loss last night, but you only give up one goal in your debut. There's nothing he could have done in the Cole Caulfield one-timer that came on a Montreal power play. So they, I don't know about you. I feel more comfortable with the Leaf goaltending now than I did a year ago.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more.
And we're talking about, like we've already discussed, I think Stolarz, the most he's played in the season is 27. Most Wall has played in 25. I think, yes, there's a legitimate concern about the health of Joseph Wall, because these injuries seem to come out of nowhere. When he's when he's healthy, you love him. He wins, 2 games for the Leafs in the postseason last year, coming in relief. So you hope you can get him back to that, but that is a concern. And yet, with somebody's injury and misfortune, it's somebody else's opportunity. And for Dennis Hildeby, he's the guy.
Leafs have the puck down in their own zone, punched along the boards by McCabe. Marner got it to the line, but not out. Pass in front, and they had a man all alone in front. I think that was Curtis Lazar, and they weren't able to get the puck to him. Played down into the offensive zone. The Leafs after the puck with Marner. Marner stops up, now sends it towards the net, but it was blocked. It ricochets to center, and Tanev goes right back to work as it's played in over the line and whistled down offside by the linesman, who was Johnny on the spot. Actually, he was Libor on the spot. Libor Suchanek making the call.
Hey, something that I found very neat in going through Dennis Hildeby's numbers. The 4th-round pick for the Leafs. But that 4th-round pick was traded to San Jose originally for Stefan Nason, who's playing for the San Jose Sharks. Nason played 1 game for the Leafs that year. As we get a quick whistle, thank God, because I've got a couple more teams.
Press on.
Then he was part of a deal, the 3-way deal that found Nick Foligno in Toronto.
Okay.
He was traded, so that pick ended up in Columbus.
Yeah, the 4th-round pick.
Yeah, the 4th-round pick.
Now, how did the Leafs get it back?
Now, the 4th-round pick then went from Columbus to Nashville. Nashville for Matthew Olivier.
Okay.
And then the pick on draft day went from Nashville to Toronto, where they took Hildeby. So
why didn't they just hang on to it in the first place?
Amazing, though.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Follow the bouncing ball.
Played out at center ice. Speaking of that, a bouncing puck into the Toronto zone. Turned back up ice by Riley. Delayed offside. Allows Tanev to skate to center. Played it in on the wing for Domi, and he'll get it down into the offensive end. Around back of the net. Unable to track it down, and out at center ice it comes now. Devils turn the puck over again, and the Maple Leafs have it under control in their own zone. Timmins up on the right wing, deflected in by Domi. Out of the net, Markstrom. Looking around, can't decide where to play it. Sends it on the backhand into the corner. That's going to turn over to Robertson. Robertson sends it around the boards to the near side. Timmins has pinched in. Now trying to gain some room. Got it into the slot. Robertson couldn't get a shot away. Lead pass at center is turned over in the neutral zone again. Pontus Holmberg trying to get it in over the line for Pacioretty. That didn't work. Almost too many men on the ice there for the Devils, who get it back out into center ice, and now the Leafs unable to make a play at the blue line either. kind of scrappy here as Meyer gets into the Leaf zone on the left wing. A pass into the slot is deflected to the far boards, hammered off the glass to center by Toronto, and another bouncing puck. Boy, I don't know if they've frozen these things because they are bouncing all over the place. There, bounces again. Back of the net, centering pass. Played off the side of the goal. Robertson trying to get it up on the boards. Pinching down was Dillon to keep it alive. And Robertson has come away with it, and he will flip it out. And the bouncing puck now is knocked deeper into New Jersey territory. Leafs shoot it right back in again. Markstrom pumps it around the boards. It'll get past McCabe to center. Leafs regrouping back at their own zone. Got it ahead. Brought in over the line now by Toronto, but it was poked away there as Lorenz couldn't get in deep. McMahon forces his man wide. Lorenz chases down Namack with a hit. Puck turned over. Good opportunity for the Leafs. Tripping penalty coming here to New Jersey as McCabe tried to work in. But all of that starts with the physicality of Lorenz and McMahon and forces turnovers. And all of a sudden, the fourth line not only has scored a goal, but they have, or 2 goals, they have managed to draw a penalty. Tripping.
And it's simple hockey, isn't it? Dump and chase. Remember Fred Shero, longtime coach of the Philadelphia Flyers during their Cup years, wrote up in the blackboard once saying the shortest distance between 2 dots is a straight line. Take that route and arrive in ill humor.
Ill humor, absolutely. Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. So the Leafs on the power play. Marner, a pass in front deflected towards the net, and Markstrom had to be quick to get a hold of that.
Boy, Austin Matthews was just turning. And had he been able to turn a little earlier and find that, he might have been able to shovel that short side.
Face off in the New Jersey zone. To the left of Markstrom. Tavares able to get it back to the blue line. Riley works down the boards. Plays into the corner for Matthews. That draws a crowd. Played back along the boards. Marner's going to be able to keep it in. Fed to the far side to Nylander. Dropping it back for Morgan Riley. Back behind the net for Nylander. Centering pass knocked away. Tavares comes out of the corner, and he swept it right in front of the net, but it was well out of the reach of Matthews. Now Nylander. Devils being very aggressive here. Leafs trying to take advantage, and a pass for Morgan Riley just failed to connect. And it's cleared by the Devils out and down the ice. Marner hustling back to it. Skates straight up ice to the line and in. Now left for Nylander. Rink wide feed. Dropped back by Tavares, but off a skate it goes to Marner. Marner's pass back into the slot, and Nylander couldn't keep it in. Devils 2-on-2 in over the line, trying to go to the net. Lazar! And it went just wide. And out comes Nylander down the left wing with speed. Tavares going to the front of the net. Nylander a cross ice pass. Broken up again and shot down the ice by New Jersey.
Well, there was a safer play to throw it back towards the blue line, wasn't there? With Marner coming late, and instead they try to force it through the middle, and it's picked off.
Domi with the second unit out with Robertson getting in over the line. And Nyes trying to fight for possession, fails to keep it in. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson will have to go back to retrieve it. Ekman-Larsson dropping for Domi. Looking to center. Domi gets to the line. Flipped it in, but it went off a stick and then into the Toronto bench. And Anthony Stolarz had to make a save. Maybe the 60 people that he's got tickets for would give him a standing ovation for that one.
Boy, the importance of special teams, though. You know, last night you lose in a power play goal. You go 0-for-4 in the power play. Here you've got a 3-0 lead. Jersey gets a power play goal to get back in it. And the Leafs still some time left in this extra man time, but just 12 seconds.
Dawson Mercer had the good shorthanded opportunity there for the Devils, but couldn't quite come up with it, and it is shot down the ice now by New Jersey, and that will do it for the first power play opportunity of the game for Toronto, who are now 0-for-5 to start the season. Ekman-Larsson in across the line. Wrist shot goes wide of the net. Trying to tip it in front of the goal was Camp. That didn't work. Now McMahon one-hands it back in the slot area. Came in front. It comes back to the point. Shot taken again by McMahon. And McCabe, rather. And that was deflected and handled by Markstrom.
Bobby McMahon right in front of Markstrom.
Hildeby playing the puck around the boards. It was shot high and back to the point. Kept in by Pratt. Pratt gets it back to the point, looking for Hamilton, who has to glove it to knock it down. Got it down into the corner. Devils playing it around back of the net. McCabe hustles after his man. A centering pass went wide of the Toronto goal. Another pass comes back to the point. Shot by Hamilton. Didn't make it through the crowd in front of the net. Another pass in back of the net. Benoit makes a good play to take his man, and the puck goes free to Bobby McMahon, who will play it through center and down just into Devils territory to allow a change. Devils return the favor, but are wide of the mark, and turns into an icing, and it'll be brought back into New Jersey territory. 3-1, the favor of the Maple Leafs here in the second period.
A lot of people wondering if Austin Matthews can duplicate the magic he had last year with a 69-goal season. You've got to remember, it started with back-to-back hat-tricks. At home against Montreal and then Minnesota.
Leafs win the face-off. Marner holds, then got a shot away that went off a leg. Marner gets after the loose puck against Hamilton to get it to Nyes. Back to the point. Another shot went by the rebound. Matthews was there, but Markstrom got there quicker. Now here's Marner. In across the line with Nyes into the slot for Matthews. Couldn't handle it on the backhand to keep it alive. And the Devils break it out with Cotter coming to center. Cotter trying to get around Tanev. Can't do that as it comes around to the near side. Marner with a quick glance over his shoulder to get it ahead. Morgan Riley unable to follow up on the rush. And now Cotter will start back for the Devils as that bogs down at the blue line. Christopher Tanev quickly gets it out on the wing. Nyes is across the line. Couldn't get around the defense. Blocked and knocked ahead at center and played to an open wing, and Tanev is there again, and he'll get it through center ice. Brought right back in, though, by the Devils. On the near wing, a shot by Andre Palat went wide, and the Leafs play it out and down the ice. That misfires and turns into an icing, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone as a result with 12:30 to play in the second period. No scoring so far here in the middle canto. It's 3-1 in favor of the Leafs.
I want your thoughts on this. When you see Jeremy Swayman holding out, finally getting signed in Boston, there's a rumor that Igor Shesterkin with the Rangers has turned down $11 million a year.
I did too. So at least we're got company, you know. What was there a question there? A shot deflects off the goal post. It goes out of play, and that got past Hildeby, but not the iron.
Yeah, but what exactly did you turn down the money for?
Oh, yeah. Well, there was that, I suppose. More on this when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm proud of my promotion.
Needs more shoes.
I earned it.
And business suits.
It is a big deal for our family.
Renovators.
I like the people I'll be working with.
Restaurants.
I still need a lot before I get started.
Car lease, hair salon, and luggage.
I know our kids are so proud of me.
Jewelry engraver.
It was my idea to put our company on the radio.
Promotion deserved. Be where anyone who needs you can meet you. Be on the radio. Your customers are already here.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of debt. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Leafs 3, the Devils 1. Pacioretty, McMahon, and Lorentz building the 3-0 lead. Bratt scoring unassisted on the power play when the Leafs had the opportunity to clear the puck, but didn't get enough elevation on it. Bratt knocked it down in the slot, and I think it went off a Leaf player because it looked like it went up into the top of the net when it was a little bit low. But as they say a night before, c'est la vie. Now back at the Toronto goal. Brought around the boards by, speaking of c'est la vie, Simon Benoit, as it's played down into New Jersey territory. And now Kovacevic will play it off onto the left wing, and it is Hughes dropping it back. Sigenthaler. A pass ahead at center for Meyer. Meyer shoots it in. Hughes unable to reach it. McCabe with a little room. Now flips it high to center ice. Bounces down into Devils territory, but controlled by Seamus Casey. And now Casey will play it up on the left wing, trying to get it in over the line for Nico Hischier. Played around the boards on the near side. Leafs unable to get it. Hischier sending it to the front of the net off a skate. Boy, Ekman-Larsson did a nice job there. He just boxed out Thomas Tatar like there was no issue. He gave his goaltender, Dennis Hildeby, all kinds of time and space to see that. Nicely done. I'll just cover this up.
And a lot of guys would turn and try to fish for it. And instead, Ekman-Larsson, by the way, when you see it written in short form, it's OEL.
And I may start using that.
But I don't know how much shorter that is.
No, it's quicker. Here's Casey in with a shot that went wide of the Leaf goal. And a lead pass at center springs Tavares. Now the chance in for David Camp in on goal. Stop the rebound on Lorentz. Never mind having one goal last year. He almost had two in one game. That was stopped by Markstrom.
Boy, it didn't quite pop out clean onto his stick. Again, he had to corral it and then change his body angle. And by the time he delivered it towards the net, Markstrom has spun back into position.
Matthews triple teamed at the blue line. And the Devils have to go back into their own zone. Hamilton got it to the Leaf blue line. Ekman-Larsson plays it back out. And the Devils in neutral ice regrouping. Dillon will shoot it in. Around on the boards, Matthews got it freed up nicely, and Marner is able to skate it out at center and gingerly play it into Devils territory, negating any kind of an icing opportunity. And now the Devils get it back out at center, turned over at the blue line, bank past Timmins, in across the line, now for Matthews, saucered in towards the net, hoping for a redirect from Nyes. It was not forthcoming, and Markstrom is able to cover up and glove it and stop play.
I really do believe Matthew Nyes has the Zach Hyman potential, and I'm not talking about a 50-goal season, but playing with Marner and Matthews, get that big frame to the front of the net, look for rebounds, redirections. As we get a look at the overhead opportunity by Steven Lorentz, and again, it's right-handed shot, Joe. It's probably in, but left-handed, he had to kind of reach back and try to drag it around the left pad of Markstrom.
10:08 to play, second period. Leafs have outshot the Devils 15-10 and lead at 3-1. Glad you're along with us. Home opener on Saturday as a long shot is gloved by Markstrom off a face-off win. And Benoit getting it to the net. Pittsburgh Penguins in town.
Not the start they wanted, and their loss to the New York Rangers. That was at home. 6-0 loss.
Draw scrummed. Puck controlled by the Devils. Sigenthaler gets it out into neutral ice. Turned over there by the Maple Leafs. Pontus Holmberg finds his defenseman. Benoit will just chip it to center, but it's knocked down there and brought right back in over the line. Down the boards comes Paul Cotter. Bodied there by Benoit.
Oh, they're going to call Timmins for interference. Connor Timmins had lost his stick. Now a scrum. You can take over.
All right. Well, there's a fairly energetic scrum. Holmberg's got a hold of someone. I'm not sure who's. I think Curtis Lazar is trying to get after Pacioretty for some reason. Not sure what touched all of that off, but the Leafs are going to be shorthanded for the second time in the game.
Yeah, what happened was Connor Timmins lost his stick around the Leaf blue line and then skated deliberately in the path of a New Jersey forward. And it's going to be the interference call. A couple of headlocks, nothing really big in the scrum afterwards.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
The Detroit Tigers look for a return to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 11 years as they try to eliminate the Cleveland Guardians in the divisional series. The action now on your home for Major League Baseball, MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
The LA Kings just been a funny animal about their goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick for so many years, and then flashes in the pan that quickly dissipate. And Vegas is a great example. They won with Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill, and that was good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup. And that, at a minimum, is what the Los Angeles Kings need to do.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Pretty weak call as Connor Timmins gets called for interference. And so the second power play coming for New Jersey. The penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
I just think you could make that call 500 times when guys dump it in and go after it. The defenseman tries to get in his lane.
Just to give his partner a little time and space. Yep. Played down into the corner. Tanev unable to get it out. Hamilton keeps it alive. Centering pass back to Hamilton and a shot. That was blocked and nicely batted out of the air and sent to center ice by Lorenz. Left wing feed. Hughes broken up by Lorentz, and he sends it back down deeper into New Jersey territory and gets a change of players. David Camp replacing him. Hamilton dropping it back. Here's Hughes coming through center. Hughes in across the line on the right wing side for Meyer. Around the boards it comes. Bratt gets it back to the point to Hischier. Back to Bratt. Stolen by Camp. David Camp still with it. Pushes it back to the net, but Benoit won't get to it in time, but he's pushed it along, and just getting it out was Nyes, and Nyes got another chance. He's still in with a shot, and that was stopped. What a shift from Matthew Nyes. He got drilled, but it was he who was able to maintain and just bowl over the hit. What a play. Kept in by Casey now, down into the Leaf zone for New Jersey. 34 seconds left in the penalty and a bad pass. Bringing it to center ice, and Hughes, who has been on for the entire power play, works it back to center.
Much better penalty kill for the Leafs this time.
Brought to center by the Devils. In on the right wing, rolled into the corner. McCabe and Tanev both go in there after it. The puck comes free. Tanev with a chance to ice, and he sends it out and down the ice. If he wanted to be a little more patient, hoping that someone was coming out of the box, and as long as it wasn't Ekman Larsson, it might have been pretty good. Shot down into the Leaf zone. Hildeby out of the goal. Lost his handle, then was interfered with. But the Leafs are going to get the penalty. A shot from the point deflects into the corner. Talk about, it's a tripping call coming to Benoit, but doesn't Hildeby get interfered with back of the net by Holla? Hello, right there. He just gets knocked into the net.
You're exactly right. You're going to call one, you better call the other.
What a play. That was Hamilton who tried to step up into Nyes, and Nyes, who didn't see him initially, just bowled him right over.
Yeah, just put his left shoulder down into the chest of Hamilton. But yeah, this last call, if you're, I thought the Timmins interference call was 50-50. And here, yeah, you can call the trip by Benoit. It's a trip. But at the same time, you've got Eric Holla taking Hildeby out in behind the Leaf net.
Penalty kill brought to you again by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Hamilton brings it out. Leafs up by a pair. Brought on by Hughes. Poke checked off his stick by Lorentz. Forced back to the blue line. Actually, Lorentz could have skated right into Hamilton there, and it would have been an interference call. Now here the shot taken there on the wing. Blockered nicely away by Hildeby. Centering pass. Deflected to the far boards. Devils control. Looking for Hughes. Comes back to Hamilton. Down the right wing boards and into the corner. Swept back there by Meyer. Back to the point. Meyer getting it again in the corner at the half boards. Top of the circle. Holds. Doesn't shoot it. Now to Hamilton in the shot. Blockered away again by Hildeby. Kept alive on the far boards. And around back of the net. Hischier couldn't control it cleanly. Now gets double teamed along the wall. Kept in by Hamilton. On the right wing side. A centering feed in front. And Meyer just failed to deflect it right on the doorstep. Hughes holding. Down low, backhand shot stopped, centering feed, and it goes by everyone and out and down the ice.
I don't know if the graphic is right. They've got only Jersey down. Their first two shots of the period have come here in this power play.
And across the line, Holla at the point, plays it down around back of the net. It goes into the far corner, centered in front, intercepted by David Camp. Camp looks ahead, couldn't knock it down as the lead pass was too high for Nyes. Now here the Devils in with another chance, and a wrist shot by Nason went high and wide over top of the goal. Penalty has 10 seconds left in it. Kept alive and into the corner. Centering pass back to the point. Holla into the slot again with a shot. Rebound in front. Down is Hildeby. That was more good luck than good management. He came across and the puck just hit him in the chest.
Yeah, he's moving to his right. The puck is going back the other way. This almost actually went 5-hole, didn't it?
Looked like it was going to trickle between the pads, but it does not. And the Leafs have killed off back-to-back penalties. They lead 3-1. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs.
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight during this Leafs versus Devils matchup, the second game of the season. We're up against the old coach, Sheldon Keefe, and the Devils. We're bouncing back tonight, Leafs. Let's go. Hit that Go Leafs Go in the chat, and as well, hit that thumbs up button. Please give us a like. It helps bring more Leafs fans into this awesome Toronto sports community, which we're doing a fine job of growing. So thank you so much for hitting that like button and hanging out with us. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
High fives. Never mind. I'm hungry.
High five. Buy any large traditional pizza and get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for just $5 each.
I have a funny for you. Do you know the difference between me and Superman?
Well,
Superman has supervision. I require supervision.
Is that the only thing?
That's about it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Shot from the point, deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Another attempt was blocked before it got anywhere near the front of the goal. The Leafs have killed off back-to-back penalties. And with 5:14 to play in the period, it got it down into the Devil zone. Domi in front for Tavares. He scores! Max Domi makes a little saucer move and finds the former captain, and John Tavares makes no mistake to make it 4-1.
We discussed this all through preseason that Tavares looks like he's got a little extra jump in his step. Seems more relaxed with interviews. And here, Tavares takes the pass in the right wing circle. Nice little pass by Domi, but then the move that Tavares makes on the New Jersey player. A little backhand, forehand move around him and then fires it up over the left shoulder of Markstrom under the crossbar to give the Leafs their 3-goal lead back, 4-1 Toronto.
Now, last year, Max Domi averaged 13 minutes and 47 seconds of ice time through the course of the year as Hildeby makes a save. He had 47 points. For players that had fewer than 14 minutes average per game, Max Domi led the league in that department. So it's the old adage, play me more, I'll do better. It's do better and we'll play you more. But here playing on this line, on the second line, he's going to play a lot more than 13 minutes a game, I would think.
And when you apply that mathematics to Nick Robertson in goals per 60 minutes, I mean, Robertson last year has a 14-goal season, but was averaging, under 12 minutes a game?
Yep.
So goals per 60 minutes, they'd rather...
Nick Robertson.
Robertson was among the league leaders.
14:52, time of the goal. And the Leafs, after withstanding 2 power plays, restore their 3-goal lead that they built through the first period. They're back at it again with a shot that deflects over top of Markstrom's cage. And the Devils are back in their own zone. Hamilton knocking it out. Robertson is intercepted. He's going to launch it high. And calling for the fair catch is Markstrom, and he'll glove it and bring a face-off in the New Jersey end of the rink.
Okay, MLB playoffs. Do you have a dream matchup in the World Series?
Anybody but the Yankees.
Oh, really?
I hate the Yankees. I have always hated the evil empire.
Not when you were playing Stratomatic baseball.
No, I like the old Yankees.
Yeah.
That was Babe Ruth Yankees, yeah.
Well, I'd love to see either the Yankees-Dodgers, so you have those 2 iconic franchises.
Well, and how much money has been spent there, yeah.
Judge versus Ohtani.
Yeah.
On the other side, I wouldn't mind the Tigers and Mets.
Oh, I would. I'd love that. Yep.
2 underdogs.
Yep. Whose payroll is nowhere near us. Deflection goes wide of the Leaf goal. Grabbed off again on the wing by Lazar. He can't work it in front. Then when he does, there is Hildeby down and covering up on it. And Tanev gets a bit of a cuff from behind from Nathan Bastian. But Christopher Tanev decides that this is neither the time nor place to square that up. Shot attempts, New Jersey 42, the Maple Leafs 33. But with 3:42 left to go in the period, the Leafs have more shots on goal, and they have more shots in goal.
Yeah, they've got New Jersey down for only 5 shots. The first 2 shots they counted were on the last New Jersey power play.
Leafs have blocked a lot of shots. That'll be, a good color man would probably have that one pretty much right at his fingertips, or be looking for it even as I speak.
Well, as soon as it refreshes, I don't know. You said you're having better luck over there.
I'll take a look after. A shot back down into the New Jersey zone. Puck comes around the boards to the near side. Block shot. 15.
Good. I just got Jonas Hoagland has tied the game.
The Devils in across the line. Nason stops it up. Plays it on the backhand into the corner. Timmins was Hook to the ice. No call there. The puck comes around the boards to the near side. Dillon goes D to D to the far side, and a shot deflected right on. Good save. Hildeby. The puck was behind him, and it was cleared away at the last second by David Camp. Saves a goal. But Hildeby made a couple of good saves down low on the scramble. And the Leafs are going to get it out at center ice. Played down into Devils territory. Somebody's got a good whistle in the crowd. I thought there was a whistle. Nothing develops. Across the line, Matthews to Marner, left wing side. Centering pass. Nyes couldn't knock it down. Devils will curl it right back up ice. Hughes works in across the line. Fed to the far wing, and a pass goes back to Hughes in the near corner. Tried to get it in front. Cut off by Marner. What a brilliant pass that was. Right beside the net, right out in front, but no one there, and Nyes was able to break it straight up ice. Now Marner keeps the puck in for Matthews. Toe drag, got the shot away, tried to jam it in, but failed to do so. Matthews back to Marner. Marner spinning back to the point, gets it returned. Now down into the corner, gets a return pass, and the shot went off a leg and went harmlessly wide. Played to center ice by the Devils with under 2 minutes to play.
I think the first line for the Leafs is starting to get a little hungry.
Shot down into the zone. A bouncing puck in front. Knocked down by Domi, who tripped and fell. Now Nylander helps out to get it in for Tavares. To Nylander coming in front of the goal. Tried to flip it over top of Markstrom, and he went too far. Devils get it out at center ice. Good play by Ekman Larsson just to tie up Thomas Tatar and not allow him to get around him to a loose puck. Now the official gets in the way of an attempted ringing of the puck by Jake McCabe. That's drawn a crowd and kept in by the Devils. A shot blockered away nicely by Hildeby. It comes back to the point. A long shot again to the side of the goal, knocked back into the corner. Nylander ties his man up, but another shot goes high and wide. It'll come back to the point. Dillon keeping it in to Hamilton. Hamilton shot blockered away nicely again by Hildeby. Kept alive again by Brendan Dillon. Left there for Hamilton, another shot. That's deflecting off Domi's stick, and it finds the screen, and the siege is over as far as Dennis Hildeby is concerned, but he's been tracking the puck very well. Got a little lucky on the one that snuck between his pads, but got a good friend there to knock it away in Simon Benoit.
Yeah, stopped at the original shot and then tried to clear it one-handed with a stick. Ended up hitting Connor Timmins. And it went off Timmins and then through Hildeby towards the goal line before it was swept away.
37.5 seconds to go in the period.
Hildeby, by the way, wearing number 35. Same number that Elias Samsonov wore. Do you think of two more goalies that wore 35?
Well, I know one thing. It's a bigger sweater.
Yes, yes.
Across the line. The Leafs play it down into the corner. Kovacevic got it to the line, not out. Then trying to keep the puck in there was Benoit, and he broke his stick. Now the Devils get it in over the line. 13 seconds left. Into the far boards it comes. Devils along the boards with Dillon. Leafs with a man without a stick and a shot. Defective equipment. Simon Benoit just taking a wrist shot from the point, and the stick shattered, and then the fire drill was on, and the Devils are able to capitalize and cut the margin in half again.
Well, and this is just a simple play where Benoit, inside the blue line, right in front of the Leaf bench, just tries to wrist it back to the corner, and the stick snaps in half. And then Benoit, in desperation, tried to come out and slide to block the shot, and that might have actually been more of a deterrent for Hildeby and provided a little bit of a screen, and that went through the big Leaf goaltender. So the Devils score with 42 seconds left in the opening period to make it 3-1, and now with 7 seconds left in the second period. Well, they've got 1953 in the official score sheet, but 2 final minute goals of the period. 1 and 2 in this game have the Devils back within 2.
Myers getting credit for the goal. It'll be his second of the season. And the Devils have made it a 2-goal game once again as the goal comes officially at 19:53. So it is a 4-2 New Jersey trailing the Maple Leafs here after 2 periods of play. And we'll ship it off to Anthony Stewart and Jim Taddy. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When it happens in the NFL,
Robert Saleh has been fired as head coach of the Jets.
we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
What? Wow.
Talking about the biggest stories all day.
Chicago, as of now, is in the race. I like where they are, but look at that division.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game.
Jonathan Gannon has got to feel really good about where the trajectory of this Arizona Cardinals team is headed.
Like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
On and off the ice.
Steven Stamkos. You wonder, is that it for him with the Tampa Bay Lightning? He's the guy that's probably, with Marty St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier, recognized as the all-time greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players. This is all about deciding whether or not the price is going to be right to keep your captain around and potentially keep him a Tampa Bay Lightning member for his entire career.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. What's up, insiders? Thank you all for hanging out with us. It's the second intermission. Third period coming up real shortly. 4-2. Tough to give up that goal right at the end of the period there, but it's all right. Bud's got this. We got this, right? So, all right, big shout out to the Super Chat. Lisa Aiello, thank you for the Super Chat for Sick Kids Hospital. Absolutely huge. Thank you so much. And then the new members as well tonight. Zip Old, welcome to VIP. And Ted M, welcome to Insider. Thank you for joining. We're having a lot of fun tonight. This game much better than game number 1. At least we got some goals. That's a good start. I should probably go back to this chat and exit out that who scores first for the Leafs poll, huh? That'd be a start. But there you go. We got Tyler in the chat, Mark Duffney, Brad Smith, Pierre LaBelle, Stefan, Richard Fewer, MM, making that coffee, MM. I could go for a coffee right now. In fact, I might actually go make myself a coffee in a minute for the third period. Because, I don't need any more scotch. I had enough of that last night. I had to take a night off here. All right, let's take it back here to the intermission. The show's coming back on in just a second. Mushroom, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Mushroom. Oh, there you go. $10 super chat from Zip Old. Thank you so much. Go, kids, go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely huge. This campaign with Sick Kids, guys, 10% of our revenue as a channel goes to Sick Kids every single month. So every single live that you guys are on, every single ad that pops up that you guys see, every single thumbs up that you do, every single subscribe for everybody that's new here, that all makes its way back to Sick Kids Hospital. And we actually have to shut this Create 100K promotion down here shortly because Jordan and Sick Kids have the end date of October 20th. So we have a few more days to get some more donations in here. But again, we'll just start another campaign in a couple of months and we'll do it all again. With that being said, let's take it back to the game. I'm going to get myself a coffee. Thank you for that great idea, MM. And again, thank you for the super chats. Absolutely huge. Zipold and Lisa, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cheers. And I don't even have my cup because it's not here. Hey, hockey fans. Everybody. Cheers. Thanks for hanging out. Super chat match up the
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And with 5:14 to play in the period, it got it down into the Devils zone. Domi in front for Tavares. He scores! Max Domi makes a little saucer move and finds the former captain, and John Tavares makes no mistake to make it 4-1. Now it's 4-2 for the Leafs over the Devils after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five. Buy any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com is where you go for that. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, not a great period for the Leafs, but still 2-goal bulge.
Yeah, I guess you got to try to find the positives within that period too. But if I'm Coach Berube, it's just about the fundamentals and the basics of what you have to do to be an everyday NHLer. And for me, it's just when you have momentum, you got to find a way to have that killer instinct. And again, you just kill that momentum after that first period where you have all 4 lines going, everybody's into the game, and then you now take back-to-back penalties. And that's sort of been the story the last 2 games. So Craig Berube's the type to let the group know. I would not be surprised if there's maybe some loud voicing of his displeasures that period. But again, you have to look at the positives. You're up 4-2. You have most of the group that's going, but you just have to find a way to manage the game a little bit better. So if this is game 10, 15, 20, I think it's a big cause for concern. But early on in the season, they're up, so you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I like what you said, managing the game situation. Clearly early in the season, back-to-back games on consecutive nights, there's going to be ebbs and flows, and that was a bit of a down spot for the Leafs. So they got to figure out how to play their way through that, right?
Yeah, they do. And, at this point of the season, I don't think you need to be stacking lines or double shifting guys. And part of what Berube is trying to do is see what he has in players. And, I've seen a couple, situations where he had the 4th line out against the Hughes line. So you want to give guys responsibility and give them an ability to show what they can do. Guys on the power play, guys on the penalty kill. But the one thing is that I think hopefully is not a common theme is in an 82 game season, you got to have a couple easy wins. And by my accounts of this game, it should be a 4-1 game, and they should be cruising into the 3rd period. They had 8 shots that period, the New Jersey Devils, and according to my stats, I believe 7 of those were in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the period. So they played a perfect period with minus the penalties for those first 12 minutes, but then now managing that clock and managing that game, that game's got a little bit away from them going into the 3rd period.
But even before the penalties were called, did you not feel that New Jersey had adjusted and was trying to figure out and was succeeding at spending some time in the Leaf zone?
Yeah, I noticed a little bit of a tennis match back and forth a little bit in the neutral zone where New Jersey had a bit of easiness getting through the neutral zone where they struggled, I think, in that first period. But again, sometimes guys get a little bit, I call it eager beaverish, where you sort of cheat maybe on the D side of the puck. But if I'm Coach Berube, I'm just saying, hey guys, stick to the system. We're not giving them that much in that first period. Play the exact same way. So again, I think he's going to be a little bit displeased, but I'm going to be interested to see how they've come out for those first 6-7 minutes, because this New Jersey team, they're young. They have lots of energy, a lot of the spunk, a lot of guys that can make high risk, high reward plays. So this game is anything but done going into the 3rd period.
Yeah, I totally agree. So it's how the Leafs respond or come out after the intermission and make their adjustments. I want to go back to the 4-2 goal, which is unfortunate in that Benoit breaks his stick right at the blue line, and there's not much he can do about that. But the puck does go through the goaltender, which is kind of regrettable, isn't it?
Yeah, again, and he was stagnant, Hildeby, where he didn't get a lot of work that first half of that period. So sometimes if you're sitting there, you're getting a little bit cold. I know he was getting some movements here and there, but again, he was standing around, I guess, for that first half of that period. So for me, I'm sure he wanted to get that shot back, but again, yes, you broke the stick at the blue line, but I think the puck went in the net maybe about 12, 14 seconds later. So for me, if it's a young goaltender, it's his first game, I'm finding a way to block that shot. If I have to dive in front of it like it's the president, I have to do those little things that protect my goalie in his first NHL game.
Okay, I agree with that, and it was the whole sequence got off, I guess, to a bad start and then finished badly. And having said that, it happens with 6 seconds left in the period. So again, we go back to what you pointed out in the previous answer. Forget about that, move on, and start with a really good effort in the first 5 or 6 minutes in the third, and then you can take care of your own business.
100%. And I think with those penalty kills, you had some guys sitting around and getting cold because, guys, if you don't kill penalties, you're going to be sitting around. So I'd find a way to get the rotation at least a minimum of 2-3 times to see where you have. But again, this has been a team effort. And for this team to have success this year, it's not going to be, yes, we know the Matthews and the Marners and the JTs, they're going to have big years. But to go the distance or to take that next step in their development, they need all 4 lines. They need them contributing. And most importantly, they need them playing and involved in the game. Staying out of the box is one way to do that.
I think the most intriguing play of the period was the Nye's shoulder into the New Jersey defenseman who was trying to hit him. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. Have you?
He's a bull, and I'm not sure if you've seen him in person. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, and he's got those old Czechoslovakia genes in him too. And he is a bull. And again, he's coming within himself and coming into his own. Where you could see Craig Berube almost taking a personal case on trying to make him successful. And he's making some great plays, great touch in and around the net, and he's building that chemistry with Matthews and Marner too. But if you had any doubts about what type of style of game he plays, after that sequence there, you can show that he is a definition of a powered forward.
I got news for you. When they first signed him and he wasn't playing every night, I saw him up in the press box. It looked like he needed a new suit. He was about to bust out.
He had the extra medium, yes.
Not
quite a large, not quite a medium, extra medium. Yeah,
his little brother's suit on. I mean, and that was before. That's a year and a half ago. So add a lot of muscle on that. I mean, he is. There's no weakness there. He's going to skate through, which has to be a scary premise for a defender.
100%. And Dougie Hamilton, I believe he's 6'4", 6'5", and he made him look like he was 120 pounds. But again, for me, it's just about buying in and playing that style. And I think for 90% of the games, the Leafs have done that. But again, I think Nye's players like that, he's an example. The guys like that, Lorentz, Camp, they're playing that style. And I think everyone just needs to have a little bit of that buy-in. And again, they're there, but it's early on in the season, so we'll judge it after a couple 5-game segments.
Stu, thanks very much. 4-2 for the Leafs over the Devils after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sam had aspirations of opening a clothing boutique. She called Alpine Credits and was sent a speedy superhero to help with a business loan. Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this. If you ran at the speed of light, you'd sound funny too. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Okay, so right now we don't have enough bedrooms.
Needs a real estate person.
And we're expecting our first child.
And party supplies.
We know it's a boy.
A toy store.
They say everything changes with kids.
Insurance.
I think we're going away somewhere to celebrate.
A good travel agent.
Then we'll work on the baby's room.
Paint, furniture, and pizza.
I have some great...
All right, insiders, we've got the last commercial break before the intermission is over. Big shout out, thank you for the super chat, Tyler and Zippold. I see that Sick Kids donation there through the Tiltify campaign and the link. Thank you, Zip. I am matching donations for the rest of the night, and I will include that donation as well. Zip, I'm going to match that. Anybody else that makes a donation to Sick Kids Hospital tonight through that link there to Tiltify, I am matching. And of course, the super chats will go there as well, because that's what we do. But hit that link. I will match it in Tiltify myself tonight only. Don't go too crazy, because, I just lost a roof. But hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to make a difference in our community tonight. And I got to fix this green screen behind me because it's off. No, wrong way. There we go. All right. There we go. Who do we got here? Who do we got? What do we think's going to happen here? How many more goals are we going to see in the third period? I'm thinking we're going to see 2 more Leafs goals. 6-2 is going to be the final for our buds tonight. I feel like we're going to come out really strong here in this third period. We'll see. Stefan, $500, $1,000. There you go. I love it, man. Let's see how much money we can donate for Sick Kids, because we all agree here at this channel that Sick Kids Hospital is an amazing place. It is where miracles happen. So many of us have been touched personally by that hospital. We got to keep it going. There you go, Pike. I love it. 5-4 in OT. All right, we're going to get crazy here in the third period. I love it. All right, back to the third period. Let's have some fun. Tigers are down 4-3. Oh my God, 3-4 for the Tigers. Come on, Tigers. Let's finish something off. You Mushroom, you here? You gonna get your Tigers going? We'll see. We have our MLB lives as well on right now, so please stop over there and hit that like button over there as well, as it helps bring more and more people here to the chat and to this awesome Toronto sports community. Hockey's coming right back.
Has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. So here's what we have. End of the second period in Boston. Bruins 5-2 over the Habs. End of the second in Buffalo. Sabres 1-0 over the visiting LA Kings. After 40 minutes of play, Ottawa 2-1 over the Panthers. It is in the second period. Islanders and Utah tied at 1. End of the first period. Detroit and Pittsburgh tied at 1. In the second period, Stars and Predators are scoreless. End of the first, Jackets and Wild. It is Minnesota 1-0. Starting later on, St. Louis and San Jose against the Sharks. In our game, 4-2 for the Leafs over the Devils after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
All for SiriusXM presents a brand new exclusive show with former UN ambassador, governor, and presidential candidate Nikki Haley on Nikki Haley Live.
Join me on Nikki Haley Live, a show where we talk about facts, policies that affect your family, stories from the campaign trail, the upcoming election, and maybe a bit about music and sports along the way. Tune in to Nikki Haley Live.
Nikki Haley Live, Wednesdays at 8 a.m. East on Triumph, Channel 111, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs with a 2-goal lead, 4-2 after 2 periods of play, and the Maple Leafs hoping to hang on here and pull a victory out to even their season series before heading home for the home opener against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night. Game we will have for you at 7 o'clock. Hope you will join us then. Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph here. Owen Hall pushing the operation along with Matthew Cardadero here in our studios at TSN 1050 as the Leafs lead it by a score of 4-2.
And what jumps out to me after 40 minutes of play, and we discussed this during the intermission, the ice time. Austin Matthews, after 2 periods, 11 minutes and 44 seconds. And I think what happens is you've got the fourth line has scored 2 goals. Craig Berube obviously is going to have a lot of confidence in all 4 lines now. In fact, the Matthews line is the only line that hasn't found the net so far.
And the Leafs to the right, Devils to the left, played down into the New Jersey end, pushed out by Siegenthaler out at center. Working in on the left wing, trying to drive around on the far side was McDermott, but it is blockered and sent around to the near wing, and Hamilton has it now. Sends a shot wide of the goal. Tatar unable to get to it, but it's cleared around back of the net. Dawson Mercer trying to find Heischer. That didn't work, and the Leafs' Nye starts back up ice. He'll get to center and rip it in and head to the bench. That ricocheted all the way around and all the way back on the fresh ice into the Toronto end. Played to the New Jersey blue line. Devils with it now. Kovacevic goes D to D to the far side. Sigenthaler will bank it to the Leaf blue line where the Leafs cut it off, and it's launched high into the center ice area once more. Nylander almost stole it, but it comes up on the right wing, and Timo Meier then loses it to Tavares. Tavares plays to an open wing, and it will be Sigenthaler getting there and bringing it in on the left wing. Sends a shot towards the net. That deflected wide. Chipped along the boards by Tavares. Bounced to the line, but not out. Shot from the blue line. And Hildeby's glove gets out there to glove that and stop play with a face-off coming in the Toronto end.
Boy, those are the pucks you got to get out, aren't they? I mean, I know Tavares, guys don't like to be in a position where you ice the puck. But boy, John Tavares just tried to flip it up the middle and it was kept in. And the Leafs are fortunate they didn't pay for it.
Pretty good elbow throwing at Matthew Nyes that
Brendan Dillon
didn't go detected. He had a pretty big hit against the Buffalo Sabres over in Czechia. Leafs getting the puck out into the center ice area. Pacioretty unable to get it in deep. Devils back at their own blue line will regroup the puck, and it is played to the line and in on the right wing. Hustling back, Connor Timmins. Cuts right in front of his own goal. And fortunately for him, it got over to the far side and got out. Played right back down into the Toronto end. Might want to just use that area behind the goal instead of a foot in front of your goaltender.
You almost expected to see that please reconnect the controller sign.
A shoot-in goes into the New Jersey bench. And Pacioretty having some words with Stefan Nason. Nothing more developing. 17:52 left to play in the period. And the Leafs with a 4-2 lead. And the big boys, the first line, has not picked up a single point thus far in the season.
No, although we did mention last night, out of the 47 shots, Matthews, Marner, and Matthew Nyes combined for 17 of them.
Hamilton plays it down into the Toronto end, out of the goaltender, and looking around was Hildeby. He played it back into the corner. Devils come away with it. Cotter trying to get it back in along the wall, and the Leafs intercept and get it out at center. Here's McMahon getting it in on the backhand. A little bit too far for Lorenz, and it'll be the Devils coming away with it to get it out at center. Knocked out of the air by Timmins. Now shot in on a delayed offside, and McCabe has it back of the Toronto goal. Jake McCabe. It's a pass up on the wing for Nylander. Nylander unable to reach it. And the Devils send it back to the Leaf blue line where Domi comes away with it. He gets to center and backhands it in wide of the net. Tavares after it, got his stick on it. Riley is pinched down but now can't keep it in, but Domi does. Right side for Tanev in a shot, and Tavares trying to redirect that at the doorstep, had to go wide. Tavares in for Nylander, trying to center in front for Domi, and he knocked it wide. Centering pass again comes back for Tavares, and he has got a bouncing puck to try to contend with, and the Devils finally get it back and under control in their own end.
But yeah, you're right. You said it right off the hop. The puck seems to be bouncing a lot here, doesn't it?
Now here's Hughes giving the puck away to Nyes. He got a shot away and a good blocker save made by Markstrom. Sent around the boards to the left wing side. Devils get it out at center but can't get it in cleanly. Now on the far side it is Bratt. Tried to roll it in front. The Leafs are there and now played off the boards and out at center ice for Marner. Marner trying to get away from a hit there from Timo Meier. Played to the right wing side. Hughes working in. Little stutter step. Dropped the puck back. Good blocker save made by Hildeby. And it is cleared to center ice. And apparently a pretty good hit behind the play.
Oh, something's going on.
Benoit and
Timo
Meier having a little shoving session.
And I think the Leafs are getting the penalty. New Jersey had control of the puck. And I think Simon Benoit is going to go, so it'll be the 4th power play of the night for the Devils. For the Leafs, 1. And there have been some suspect calls in this game and some suspect non-calls. Simon Benoit is in total disbelief. But we're going to take a look at it on the replay. It happened well behind the play, I believe. I don't recall anything happening that we were able to see.
Well, they've decided not to show us that initially.
Well, it looks like Nyes took a pretty good shot before that by Meyer. Oh, then Timo Meyer does the head snap, but then he turns around and throws a left at Benoit. And referees could have taken the easy way out and made it 4-on-4, but instead, and even the hit on Nyes, that little
like an elbow, didn't it? Yep.
Or boarding, if you want to go there.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks, and the Leafs ice the puck right off the hop. 4th power play of the game for New Jersey. The Leafs have had 1. And the crowd into it at Prudential Center as a shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Tanev getting it to the line, but it won't get past Dougie Hamilton. Kept alive. Hamilton works back in on the left wing half boards. Hughes with a shot. That deflected wide and unable to keep it in is Nico Hischier. And it's all the way down into Devils territory. Hamilton going back to the puck. Drops it off for Hughes. Hughes, a little stutter step. That looked like it was offside. Now on the right wing side, Meyer with a shot. That's blocked. The Leafs can't get it out. Hamilton's shot deflected wide. Knocked back behind the goal on a good play by Ekman Larsson. Back to the blue line. Poked out at center now by Toronto's David Camp. Did you not think that was offside?
I thought it might have been interference, what we just saw too.
Now here the Devils back into the offense. Hischier back to Hamilton, near side, and Hildeby got across to stop that on a one-timer from Hughes. Hughes at the top of the circle, had to go off a stick, bouncing puck. Leafs are going to get free of it. Ekman Larsson finds the opening on the far boards and sends it down the ice with a half minute to go in the power play.
David Kampf might have had a shorthanded breakaway, and after the Devils off the puck up to the blue line, but there was no interference call there.
And offside at the Toronto blue line.
Is there a penalty here? No. I thought
Marner got knocked down at the blue line. I don't know if there was an...
Yeah, usually it's the defending player that'll get the interference call.
Wow, that was interference by Seamus Casey, but I don't think they're going to call a penalty.
No, we haven't
seen anything on the screen here. No, it's still
offside.
Yeah, an offside call. Played down into the Toronto end. McCabe ringing the boards with it. Marner in traffic, got it ahead. Matthews starts out at center. Matthews circles back. Going to play it all the way back into his own zone. And a penalty now coming to the New Jersey Devils. So someone may have thought, well, you know what, maybe that should have been a penalty. The Leafs penalty is over. A delayed penalty in effect with the goaltender out. Here's Nylander. Right wing side, Tavares. Tavares stops up, got away from one, tried to flip it in front. Comes back to the blue line, trapped there by Riley. Now to Marner. Marner working the boards, then circles back to the blue line. Fed off on the wing, it goes to Tanev. Tanev drops it back for Marner in front of the net and gets it back again from Nylander. Nylander against the boards, and there'll be a traffic jam in the corner, and a high stick is the call that is going to send the Leafs to the power play for just the second time in the game. Brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. It is 4-2 Leafs. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This is John Paul Morosi on the new SiriusXM original podcast, The Road.
Hey, hockey fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Please check the link that is pinned in the chat. We are still running our Sick Kids Hospital campaign, our fall drive for Create 100K. Please take a look at our campaign page to see the work that we've done so far, and please add to that if you can. If you can't, please share it out and let's see if we can't make a difference in our community. Thank you all for taking the time to check that out, as well as help support a big partner to this channel and this community of Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Let's go back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Let's finish this one strong.
Fan base, I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
So the Maple Leafs are going to go to the power play, and the official scorer has been generous with some assists. On the Tavares goal, Domi and Ekman Larsson now involved, and on the McMahon goal, McCabe and Lorentz getting the assist. Lorentz getting added, so he has a nice 2-point night going.
Yeah, so now you got Pacioretty, Lorenz, and Ekman Larsson all picking up their first points in a Leaf uniform. And this is where you need the power play to come through and try to put a stranglehold on this game.
Well, and here's Hischier bringing the puck down into the Toronto zone. Double teamed over there, got it back into the slot area. Kovacevic to the near side. Dillon forced back into the center ice area by Matthews. And now here are the Devils working it back in over the line. Working into the corner, and a flip shot goes well wide of the Leaf goal, but the Devils are onto the puck again, and they're going to get it back out into the center ice area and kill off more time. Kovacevic now flips it high into the Toronto end, and Marner will bat it around back of the net, and that took the better part of 40 seconds of the Leaf power play with the number one unit out there. Brought out from the Leaf zone by Matthews. On the wing it goes to Marner. Marner lost the puck. Brought back in over the line by Nathan Bastian. Bastian holds, took a shot. That hit the goal post. It sure sounded like it.
I think the outside of the post, it looked like Hildeby had it covered. But that's going to be it for the number one unit that's struggling out of the gate here early in the season.
Robertson starts back up ice with 45 seconds left. Works to the line, flips it in. Hustled in there after it, got interfered with as he tried to get around. Good effort there by Nyes to block a clearing attempt. Domi has worked down the left wing boards to get it into the corner. Tried to center in front of the net. It comes back to the blue line. Good play by the Leafs to keep it in. Domi with a pass in front. Nyes just failed to get his stick on it. Markstrom able to catch it, but Nick Robertson did a great job at the blue line to outfight his man to keep the puck in the offensive zone.
We're going to be using that jargon a lot this year, winning the one-on-one battles. And that's what Robertson was able to do. Max Domi looking for Matthew Nyes at the top of the crease. But Nyes in just a little too tight on Jacob Markstrom.
Face-off won by Toronto. Ekman Larsson down the left wing boards. Plays it around back of the net. Nyes interfered with a little bit there by the goaltender. Couldn't get to it, but the Leafs keep it in at the point. And a deflection in front of Markstrom went just wide. Nyes back of the goal. Around the boards far side for McCabe. McCabe trying to get away from Nico Hischier. Drops it off for Domi. Domi to the left wing side for Ekman Larsson, and the drive. That was stopped by the glove of Markstrom, and a good hard shot by Ekman Larsson. Devils back to full and even strength with 11 minutes to go in the period. And the Leafs leading 4-2. It's been the lesser lights who have dominated the scoring for the Maple Leafs to build the lead. And it's brought in over the line now by the Devils with a shot that was blocked by Tanev. Puck comes free. Out come the Leafs now with a pass up on the wing for McMahon. Dipped in now on the left wing for Lorenz. Lorenz plays it around back of the net for David Camp. Camp kicking it back of the goal. Lorentz tried to chip it in front. Now it's knocked to the boards for Riley. Riley with a shot that goes high off the glass. There's Lorentz battling for it, using that big frame. And the puck still maintained by Lorentz and fed in around back of the net. David Camp works to the near side. This fourth line has been outstanding for the Maple Leafs. Camp keeps it in. Lorentz is back of the goal with it. Played to an empty corner, but there's McMahon with it now. McMahon got knocked down. The Leafs' tired group heading to the bench after a great shift spent almost entirely in the New Jersey end. And 10 minutes now remaining in the third. Shot back down into the Leaf end. Round back of the net comes Nason. Nason tries to get in front. Matthews had his pocket picked. The Devils get it back towards the blue line. Fed around back of the net for Nason. Stefan Nason trying to dig it free. Timmins has him tied up. Matthews arrives on the scene to add support. That's all up against the inboards now as it's poked free. And Marner just gets it elevated through center. And now the Leaf trying to get through was Pontus Holmberg. And
I know.
Other than being tackled, he was certainly interfered with.
The Devils defenseman had lost his stick, so very similar to what Connor Timmins was called on in the second period.
Leafs get the puck back in the offensive zone. Here's Ekman Larsson shooting it in. Around back of the net. Markstrom couldn't slow it up. Dillon plays it into the near corner. And then Kovacevic gives it back to Dillon, who gets it out into neutral ice. Devils play to an open wing, but jumping into the rush is Kovacevic to shoot it in. Out of the net is Hildeby glancing around, then sends it around on the glass. And fighting well on the boards there was Domi to get it out and down into Devils territory. New Jersey counterattacking again. Thomas Tatar works into the slot, had the puck roll off his stick. Works back towards the blue line, being hounded there by Tavares. A centering pass deflects off a body, and it's going to go all the way down into Devils territory. 8:20 to play in the third. Cotter gets the puck ahead. Namack and across the line. Couldn't get around the defense of Tanev. And Christopher Tanev, rather, has really demonstrated what the Leafs were really hoping to get. Big, solid, physical defenseman on that right side that has certainly augmented Morgan Riley. Pass through center. Here's McMahon into the slot. Got a shot away, and that forced Markstrom into a good save with the blocking glove. McMahon waiting for teammates to arrive, and it is Robertson to get it back to the point. Shot by Benoit, went off a skate, and the Devils have it under control in their own zone. New Jersey starting back. Casey got it out. Bratt dishes it off to Hughes. Back to Bratt. Bratt with a little stutter move. Now looking for Casey, but the pass comes all the way back and out at center ice as Brendan Dillon couldn't get there in time to keep it in. 7:11 left to play in the third period. The Leafs by a pair. Hamilton getting it into neutral ice. Now flips ahead. Hughes got a shot away, went high over top of the head. Meyer, rather, trying to center, comes back to the blue line. Hamilton dives to try and keep it in, but missed it. But it'll get back into New Jersey territory, allowing Dillon to get back without the Leafs taking advantage of the pratfall there from Dougie Hamilton. Kovacevic down the right wing boards, shoots it into the Leaf zone. 6.5 minutes to go. Tick-tock, tick-tock. In against the boards. Nyes trying to play it up into the corner. It goes back of the net for Morgan Riley. He'll quickly play it off the boards to the line, but not out. Devils keeping it into the corner now, and back after it is Nason. To the far side for Nyes. A centering pass is stopped and then covered up by Hildeby. And a face-off will come in the Toronto zone as a result. With 6:17 left to play in the third period. The Leafs trying to close one out in New Jersey. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. there's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you, with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest.
There we go. Now we've got the mic on. All right. 6.5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Leafs. Let's finish this one off. We've got to get the full 2 points tonight. Defense, stand up. Hildaby looking decent in net. And hey, let's get this full 2 points. Buds, thank you all for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. If you have not done so already, please hit that like button down below. We need to get more likes so that we can get more Leafs fans here in the chat hanging out with us. Let's do a double check here on the Tiltify campaign page. Do we have any donations to match yet? No. No new donations on the Sick Kids page yet, but I'm sure we've got at least one from you to match tonight. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's see what we got, Toronto. All right, back to the hockey. Let's finish this third period. I can't wait to finally watch some of the game.
Lonesome and skate around, and even though Dennis Hildaby was in his normal spot leading the team out.
Well, David Kemp took a step onto the ice behind him and then stopped and went off and let Hildaby make the lap. It just kind of looks a little more lonely than usual, doesn't it?
Well, you don't get to quickly skate around and shoot the puck in the net. You're lumbering around with your goalie equipment on. Leafs back in their own zone. High stick knocked down by the puck. And then Marner is able to bank it out at center, and a nice feed to get it ahead. In across the line. Pontus Holmberg trying to work into the corner. That is turned over. And kept in then by the Leafs momentarily. And stolen back by Nylander. Dropping it back, and a quick shot by Matthews. Deflected over top of the goal.
Boy, what a great play by Nylander, though. Drove to the net and then just dropped it back, and another weak penalty is coming up. He might get an extra two. Nylander slapped the puck when he saw that he was going to get the penalty, and then was reprimanded by the official. But boy, there have been some odd calls in this one.
Toronto's number 88, 2-minute holding.
Wow.
And Nylander's upset. I mean, there was no need for the penalty to be taken, let alone called. And this was just Jack Hughes with a perfect spinning dive. You know, and there's no hold.
No,
because
he never takes his hand off the stick.
Well, once he does, though, Joe, the hand is in the middle of the back. It's not grabbing onto his shoulder or hip. And Hughes
sold it pretty well.
Yeah, but that's a gamble.
Yep.
You're going to dive in front of your own net to draw a penalty, but the referees bite on it. And here is power play number
5, I believe.
5, yep.
And the Devils win the faceoff. Marner steals the puck, and it's shot out and down the ice, and the penalty kill is brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. So a big part of the game about to unfold here. Marner takes his man down, but there's no call. I don't believe Marner is able to backhand it out and down the ice.
Now, is that not another dive?
Oh, sure it was. Here's Hughes playing it down into the corner. Don't know if he learned that playing with the Marlies organization or not. Played back to the point, kept alive by Dougie Hamilton. Onto the wing and down low. Hughes trying to get it in front. That went off a skate. Good play by Marner to take his man out of the picture. Then Benoit is trying to pin that puck up against the boards for as long as he can. It's stolen back by Marner. He can't get it past one of the Devils players, but it's back up against the wall again by Benoit. He is hanging on there for dear life. 58 seconds left. Now he's making sure there's no holding here. All of this excitement is creating a lot of problems for the Devils. They finally get it free. Pratt back to the point to Hamilton, coming to the side of the net, stopped in front of the goal. Big play by Marner. right on the doorstep to knock it away. And now the Devils keep it in, but only to lose it. And Marner fires it out and down the ice. Great shift by Mitchell Marner defensively in a penalty-killing role.
Boy, the whole unit was great. That scrum in the corner. Talk about winning the one-on-one battles. They won the 3-on-3 battle.
Tanev gets it freed up for Matthews, and Matthews will make no mistake sending it out and down the ice. He and Pontus Holmberg are out there. Just 16 seconds left in this penalty and 3.5 minutes to go in the third, and the Leafs with a 2-goal lead. Tanev trying to play it around to an open corner, and Matthews gets there in a hurry but can't come up with the loose puck. Sent around the glass, but no one at the point, and it'll clear to center, and out of the penalty box is Nylander, and he steals the puck up ahead for Holmberg. Pontus Holmberg down into the corner. Nylander up against the boards. Got it freed up there momentarily. It comes free to Riley. Riley back in along the boards for Willie, but out of his reach. And Dawson Mercer now turns. He can't get free, and under 3 minutes left to go in the third. Puck in the offensive zone for Toronto. Fed around back of the net. Markstrom will play it into the corner, and now we'll keep an eye, or well, hopefully someone will keep an eye on Markstrom for us to see if he's coming out of the net. Down into the Toronto zone, but the Leafs have control of the puck, so I'm assuming that Markstrom is still in the goal. Played up on the left wing side. Riley shoots it in, and my presumption was right. He is still in the goal. Down into the corner on the far side. 2:29 to play. Dillon getting it around back of the net. Kovacevic starts away, and Kovacevic gets it out at center, only to have it go off a skate. Pushed back into the offensive zone for Toronto. Got it ahead, and there's Domi just sending it deeper into Devils territory. 2:09 to play. Up on the left wing, having difficulties with it, Lazar. He'll have to regroup it, and that's keeping Markstrom in the net. Minute 59. Played ahead now for Hischier. Hischier works in over the line and gets down around back of the goal. We're assuming Markstrom is headed to the bench, and now they do have an extra attacker on. Puck around back of the net, pushed up on the wall. It'll be blocked there by Bratt on the wing, and a shot that deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Leafs doing a good job in front of the net with blocking. It comes to the right wing side, pass into the goal crease. There's Hildeby with his best save, taking that on the chest and stopping play.
Boy, as important as the save was, Joe, holding on to it and not giving up a rebound, just as important as both Mercer and Meyer were right there, looking for a little bit of garbage to tuck past Hildeby. But Hildeby takes this in the chest. Meyer with the redirection. I would imagine Jersey will call a timeout here. But Meyer with the redirection, it went fluttered back into Hildeby. But Hildeby was able to get his glove up against his chest and hold on to it.
1:32, and they're not calling timeout at this point. Hamilton gets a face-off win, back to the point with the shot, and that off a stick as Pontus Holmberg tests the piece of graphite or whatever the heck is made in those sticks now.
Composite,
whatever. Yeah. What is composite?
Well,
yeah.
Hey, Siri.
What the hell is incomposite?
Sorry, that.
Yeah, I got no idea.
That's a
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Played. Used to be good old-fashioned wood. And it's cleared out by the Leafs out at center ice. Devils back in their own zone. Hughes onto the wing. It's fired into the Toronto zone. McCabe brings it back, sends it into the far corner. Trying to get free of it there is Meyer. Round to the near side for Nico Hischier. Hischier holds, gets it back along the boards to the blue line. Hamilton just did keep it in. Run to the far side. Marner tipping it, but it doesn't get out. Here's Hughes working back to the point with less than a minute to go. Hamilton shot in traffic, deflected wide of the goal. Round back of the net. Hischier trying to get to it. Leafs Matthews against the boards, getting some help from Tanev. Matthews gets a look at the net, gets wide of it at center, and shoots it wide of the goal. 69 goals a year ago, and the most even strength, but that time from about 120 feet or so,
just
went wide of the goal.
By the way, if I'm not 100% sure, but I believe carbon or composite sticks. They're carbon fiber sheets impregnated with partially cured resin.
That's what I thought.
That's just my best guess.
Well, at least you can read.
Yeah. Oh, that's raisins.
Oh, raisins. Raisins?
Not resin.
They got raisins in this stick? We got a timeout being called here by Sheldon Keefe and his coaching staff with 29.2 seconds left.
I do like the fact that Craig Berube has gone to the number one line here in a shutdown role. As we said, the minutes, and I think this is a huge bonus. You get the fourth line, score a couple of goals in the opening period. You know now. You're playing back-to-back nights. You don't have to
overwork the big guys.
Yeah, overwork the big guys. And I know it's sort of been an overused comparison, but Steve Yzerman kind of being told by Scotty Bowman that, you know what, your point totals are going to be down, but we're going to be a tougher team to play against and better defensively.
And here's Matthews taking the face-off, knocking the puck into the corner. Got it up on the wing. Marner gets it airmailed high into center ice, but it won't have enough to go for icing. And now 18 seconds left. Played up ahead on the right wing side. Hughes couldn't get into the zone. And Lawrence is out there in a defensive role on the left wing here with Marner and Matthews. And the puck is shot down into New Jersey territory. And the final seconds will tick down. And the Maple Leafs, who a year ago won 46 games, get their first of this season. They had 24 wins on the road a year ago, which was a club record. They have their first, and it comes at the expense of their former coach, Sheldon Keefe, and the New Jersey Devils, who taste defeat for the first time in the season.
Well, and just watching the Leafs come and congratulate Hildeby, I mean, he towers over everyone that has come to give him a hug and a tap on the mask as he wins his first NHL game and his first NHL start. And for former Leaf coach Sheldon Keefe, his first loss as a coach of the New Jersey Devils comes against his former team.
And let's look at the other aspect of it. The first win for the Maple Leafs' brand new coach comes in New Jersey as the Chief has his first in a Leaf uniform.
And I know it's only 2 games in, and it's back-to-back games on the road, but it does have a different feel to it, doesn't it, this team?
Yep.
Where it's not going to rely on highlight reel goals, and there's a plan B, getting the puck to the net and in the net. And I think we saw that with the spread-out scoring in this one.
That is win number 207 for Craig Berube in his career. Of course, all of that spent with the St. Louis Blues prior to coming to Toronto. We'll step aside with the post-game show coming your way. Anthony Stewart and Jim Taddy with this invitation to join us on Saturday night when the Maple Leafs will entertain the Pittsburgh Penguins. We will be on the air at 7 o'clock. Until then, this is Joe Bowen bidding you good night. The Leafs win 4-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Ashley Flowers, host of the #1 true crime podcast in the world, Crime Junkie. This Halloween season, we're getting into the spirit on crime.
Leafs win! Leafs win! Leafs win! We get the first W of the year. It feels good to get that win, especially after that tough loss last night in Montreal. But hey, we've got the 2 points, 4-2 Leafs. We get it done. 4 goals by different goal scorers. Patches with the first goal, assisted by Holmberg and Timmins. Bobby McCann from Jake McCabe and Lawrence. Then Lawrence gets in on it himself. Steven Lawrence with a goal, assisted by Camp. And then we've got Johnny T from Max Domi and OEL in the second period. And that is the end of the scoring for the Maple Leafs. Timo Meier and Jesper Bratt with the goals for the Devils. Cheers, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us this evening. Big shout out to Jose Duarte for the super chat here at the end of the night. Go Leafs, go, Jose. Thank you, sir. Much appreciate the donation. What a night. Big night for the Leafs. Big night for donations. Really appreciate it. And hey, just a quick side note here on the politics piece. right? No politics here on TSI, please. We don't want to upset half of the people here, because that's what it is. Doesn't matter what side you're on. There's people on both sides. We're not going to make anybody upset because we're all here to watch hockey and enjoy the Leafs together and Toronto sports and sports around the world together. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you keeping it classy, and let's go have some fun. Make America great again, make Canada great again, make every country in this world great again so that we can all be in a great place to live and enjoy our lives, because at least I'm having fun in my life here, hanging out with all of you guys here watching hockey. All right, next game is Saturday night for the Leafs. Hockey night in Canada. Nothing better. So we'll see you guys Saturday night, and jump on over to the baseball games as well so that you can hang out with us a little bit more tonight. Cheers, everybody. I'll let the post game run. Good night. Hey, hockey fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this
Sports
evening.
Grid Radio,
Please
channel
check the link.
159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app. On and off the ice.
Steven Stamkos. You wonder, is that it for him with the Tampa Bay Lightning? He's the guy that's probably, with Marty St. Louis and Vinny LeCavalier, recognized as the all-time greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players. This is all about deciding whether or not the price is going to be right to keep your captain around and potentially keep him a Tampa Bay Lightning member for his entire career.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
The LA Kings just been a funny animal about their goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick for so many years, and then flashes in the pan that quickly dissipate. And Vegas is a great example. They won with Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill. And that was good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup. And that, at a minimum, is what the Los Angeles Kings need to do.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. And then,
here's a chance. Oh, what a stop!
there were 8.
At the line, long drive, rebound, they scored!
Zadorov behind the net for Garland in front. Lindholm scores!
As Martin backs it in, he scores!
With the first round behind us, the battles only get more intense.
Blocked by Montour, out in front, Bobrovsky!
Follow your favorite team.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue.
NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And the Maple Leafs, who a year ago won 46 games, get their first of this season. They had 24 wins on the road a year ago, which was a club record. They have their first, and it comes at the expense of their former coach, Sheldon Keefe, and the New Jersey Devils, who taste defeat for the first time in the season.
Joe Bowen summing it up, 4-2, the Leafs win in New Jersey. Get goals from all over the place, and a young rookie goaltender making his debut. had a fascinating night and a real thrill for him. No question about that. Welcome to Leafs Game Night, the post-game show. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart, and Ralphie kind enough to hang around. And Ralphie, you were talking at the end of the broadcast about, what a difference this team is in terms of its look. You've got two sample sizes now, a loss in Montreal last night where they had 103 shot attempts, and tonight where they got contributions from all over the lineup. What's your read on what you're seeing?
Just different, and I think, and I hope Stewie would agree with that even through training camp, the Berube effect seemed to be there, where it, even on the penalty kill late the third period, 3-on-3 battle, and the Leafs eventually win it. And, Craig Berube constantly talks about winning the one-on-one battles. I want to be known as a team that wins those battles. And I think that's where what we've seen, at least in, the first two games of the regular season, that it doesn't necessarily have to be highlight reel goals that get you through a hockey game.
Yeah, we see the stars of the game, but what about those unsung heroes? And for me, I think it's the defenseman who had 19 of the 27 block shots. Just talk about how different it looks and a different feel this year as opposed to years past.
Yeah, well, the one thing, Stu, I'd like to see them clean up is giving too much time and space at the top of the slot on the penalty kill. I know they like to collapse, and that leads to the shot blocks, but you saw it on the first New Jersey power play goal where a little too much room for guys to move in and get a decent scoring chance inside the top of the circles. But you're right. It's just that Chris Tanev is everything I think you hoped for. Simon Benoit doesn't look like there's been a step taken backwards after his impressive season with the Leafs last year. So the whole makeup, and then you throw in Jake McCabe, Oliver Ekman-Larsson seems to make those crafty little veteran plays, which is just, either air mailing it out of the zone or chipping it off the boards and no panic in his game. And, going from the defense, Stewie, and Jimmer to the goaltending, Joe and I mentioned it during the broadcast that you really, or we do anyway, feel more comfortable with the goaltending right now this year than we did all of last year.
And that's with the kid making his NHL debut. I'd love your take on his performance. There was he fought through a lot of things. I mean, he never gave up on any particular situation. Unorthodox. I can't even say it.
Unorthodox?
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Unorthodox at times, but that never hurt Dominic Hasek, did it?
No, and I don't know what that means. No, you're right. But I will say from a goaltender standpoint, that was a tough game for both goaltenders. There was a lot of traffic in front, a lot of bouncing pucks, redirections. It was a very scrambly game for a goaltender, and I heard you and Stewie talk on the pregame show, and Stewie saying you want to stay away from the race, the north-south race, and exchanging chances off the rush. And I think the Leafs were able to do that. And I think the way the game played out, despite all the skill on the ice, it was more of a scrap than it was a race. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know it's a small sample size, but how big of a surprise has Steve Lorentz been since he's wearing the Maple Leafs jersey?
Yeah, isn't that great? I mean, it's such a great story and nobody really talked about him. I mean, he was injured early in training camp. He was on a PTO, and you start to wonder, how many, if you're going to sign Pacioretty off a PTO, is there room for Steven Lorentz? And you just love the fact he only had one in the regular season last year, so he's already got one, and maybe even scoring in the last preseason game that went to his legs and his confidence a little bit, but. It is interesting that Noah Gregor, wearing number 18, scored in his first game as a Leaf last year, and Steven Lorentz gets one in his second game as a Leaf this year. But he's the perfect fourth line player, isn't he, Stewie? Where there's a little bit of finish, but we saw a couple of times get the puck in deep on the forecheck and use his body to free the puck up.
You like the fact that the third and fourth line chipped in and carried a lot of the offense tonight. And, you look for little signs, albeit after game 2, that'll tell you that the ending will be different. And in a playoff series, if some of the big guys aren't scoring and the third and fourth line are, that's an upgrade too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the first 3 goals were ugly. I mean, they aren't, they're not going to end up in a highlight reel anywhere. But it's exactly what, you watch a playoff series. It's amazing how many times those are the goals that are the difference in a game, which is throw it to the net and win your battles and get it. So, I know what the narrative is going to be if it goes on too long, but the fact that you've got Nylander, Matthews, Marner without a point in the first two games, and I didn't want to bring this up during the broadcast, but when Matt Sundin became captain in '97, he didn't score until his 8th game.
Oh,
and it started to build. You and I might have been doing the games then. Oh no, I was radio. That was my first year radio. That it started to come in that it's too much pressure for Sundin, and it's you can see he's carrying the weight of the captaincy on him, and you certainly hope. That's why we were kind of hoping Matthews would hit the empty net tonight and just kind of get the first one over with.
Yeah. Oh no, he only scored 55 goals instead of 69.
I
so.
know. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Like even a 19-goal drop, and he hits 50, and people are going to say, "Well, that's not what it was last year."
Yeah, that's. We talked about at the top of the show about discipline being the best penalty killer. Are there any concerns about the discipline or lack thereof through 2 games?
I thought the officiating tonight, there were some calls where you kind of went, "Come on," there was. That's fine if you want to call the Connor Timmins one, but at the same time, I don't know if you caught Eric Hall interfering with Hildeby trying to get back into the net, which was the same thing that Connor Timmins had done. So, I do think that, maybe with this mentality and the fact that they are playing different, that the officials are all taking notice, saying, okay, this is a Craig Berube team. We're gonna pay extra attention to late hits or roughing calls and everything else. I thought the one on Benoit was, it's fine to give him a roughing, but who was it? Meyer, I think, got him with a pretty good left in retaliation, and those usually end up being 4-on-4, but a little bit of adversity early on in the season doesn't hurt either.
I mean, really, what we're talking about here is a buy-in from the coach. The new coach has a message, fortified by Lane Lambert and Mark Savard in their roles, and you can see the way they play. They're buying in, aren't they?
Yeah, and, it helps to get that win, too. Because, if you go 3 or 4 games and things aren't going well, then it's easy to say, you know what, let's go back to the old habits. Let's go back to the way we used to play. Maybe leave the zone a little bit earlier. Maybe try to stretch things out and generate offense. So I think it's important to have, that this victory is small in an 82-game season, but to me it's fairly important early in the season that, hey, we're buying in, and we have found a different way to win a hockey game.
Do you see a steady rotation of players coming in and out of the lineup, primarily on the 4th line, or is this a situation where Ryan Reeves has just got to wait for his opportunity and wait for another player on that 4th line to falter? Yeah,
I'm not sure, Stewie. I think, part of it might be who you're playing against. Whether you think Ryan Reeves can take advantage with physical play or being a little more physical than Bobby McMahon, or if you figure you're up against a team where you need a little more offense, and that's where McMahon slides in. But as we know, as the season goes on, it's a luxury right now to have all guys that you can plug into the lineup. All it takes is an injury or two, and you're saying, well, thank God they've got the depth.
Not really worried about the blue line. They did a lot of work in that in the offseason. I know you talked about Tanev earlier, but that entire group, the 6-man group, same as it was last night, looked pretty good.
Yeah, and great job of boxing out. I'll be honest, watching Ekman Larsson play a little more closely. He had the dip when he went to Vancouver, and you thought maybe it was the end of the career, and then you see him resurrected with the Panthers last year. But just the calmness back there. That, like I said, there's no urgency to make a spectacular play to get it out of your zone. If you flip it out or put it off the glass, he's more than happy to do it, and I think that's got a really settling effect on the rest of the guys.
I'm sure you guys talked about the big hit by Matthew Nyes on Dougie Hamilton there. What do you notice in his game here, and can you see him becoming a special player a lot sooner than later? And I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to be 40 goals, 40 assists, but he's going to be an important player come playoff time.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think, Stewie, there's something there to go with the Zach Hyman mode, where you can play that heavy, rough game, go to the front of the net, and you're going to get your opportunities. Max Domi almost found him in the 3rd period in front of the net, and he has had some scoring chances. But you think playing with Matthews and Marner, going to the front of the net with your stick on the ice might provide you a lot of opportunities. He had 15 last year, and even though Hyman may never get to 50 again, But I still think there's there could be a consistent 20 to 30 goal mark through his career, especially playing with two skilled players.
So talking about the big guns, and they haven't hit the score sheet yet, but it was great to see the former captain, Tavares, get on the board tonight too, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was, we talk about the ugly goals in the game. That was a pretty one. And there was something I noticed from his interviews at training camp, even just before camp started. He looked, for lack of a better word, he looked unburdened. He seemed a lot lighter in interviews than, usually in a John Tavares interview, you hear the word structure 7 or 8 times. We like our structure. We got to keep our structure. And it just seemed like he was more relaxed. And I thought that translated to his play on the ice. And, John Tavares might have a little bit of a surprise season. I know he still hit 29 last year. But, if he can start to snipe in the power play like he did a couple of years ago, he might find himself in the 35 to 40 goal range again.
Yeah, with that power play struggling a little bit, do you see that opening a door a lot sooner than later for a player like Liljegren, who, they made the 2-year commitment, had a pretty decent cap hit? Do you see a pathway towards him coming back into this lineup, or he's on the outside looking in until there's an injury?
Yeah, I'm going to lean more towards whether it's, and I mean, when you've got Hakanpää ready to come back too, you've got some decisions to make. But I would say right now, and unless you're going to slide Connor Timmins out for a game, Liljegren might have to kind of sit and wait for his opportunity. I think, you give up 3 goals in the first 2 games on the road. I think if you're Craig Berube and the coaching staff, you're thrilled with what you've seen defensively. But, Connor Timmins might be the one guy that finds himself in a little bit of a platoon basis with Liljegren. But I think for right now, you might see that same defense unit stick together.
Ralphie, thanks for hanging around. Appreciate it.
Right. Like I said, I'll be in the car in 2 minutes, so mention my name on the way home.
Okay. What's the over-under on that?
I don't know.
It's at 3. We'll go with 3.
I'll text you.
Okay, good.
Right,
thanks. Thanks, Ralphie. 4-2, the Leafs win over the Devils in Jersey. First win of the season and getting set for their home opener on Saturday night. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
For over 85 years, Rona has been at the heart of all your renovations. Over these 85 years, we've seen you accumulate a ton of dust, from breaking down the drywall to ripping up those floorboards. So, you're probably due for a little cleanup, and we got an offer for you. Until October 23rd, you can save on the DeWalt wet or dry vacuum. And until November 6th, take part in the Win Your Renovation contest for a chance to win up to $85,000 in Rona gift cards. That's enough cash to vacuum and resume all your renovations for a really long time. Details at Rona.ca.
Walmart has all of your Thanksgiving meal essentials at low prices. Right now, you can get your Fresh Market AAA Angus Boneless Cross Rib Roast for only $5.77 per pound, or your Fresh Market Salmon Side for only $8.98 per pound at Walmart.
The world is changing, and Upskills for Work Get Started resources can help you adapt, learn new skills, build confidence, and move forward. Get Started workbooks are free and easy to use, online, anytime and anywhere, so you can learn at your own pace. Whether you're looking for a job or want to move up in your field, Get Started empowers you with skills like collaboration, adaptability, and problem solving. Improve your skills for work and life. Get started today at upskillsforwork.ca. 50 or over? Ask your healthcare provider if vaccination for pneumococcal pneumonia with Prevnar 20 is right for you. Visit Prevnar20.ca to learn more. Now publicly funded for eligible Canadians and covered by most insurance plans.
Leafs Game Night. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart with you. 4-2, the Leafs win over the Devils. An interesting night. If you go back to the anticipation, Stu, before the game, didn't know exactly what Hildeby was going to deliver. And I just love the way he, sometimes you'd see him fight through and get to the puck. Again, no style points for some of the saves, but who cares? I mean, he just, that frame it's just remarkable. The wingspan on that guy. Actually, it's the leg span, isn't it?
Yes, and it's not the art business, so it doesn't need to be pretty, and he found a way to get the job done. And kudos to the Maple Leafs, especially the defense, who blocked 19 shots as a unit. The forwards blocking the other 8. And they did a pretty good job managing the beginnings of periods, right? Because it's coming into his first National Hockey League game. He's definitely going to be a little bit nervous. And, what you don't want is him to get shell-shocked with, 2-3 shots going in, in the first 5 minutes. So they managed the puck really, really well to start that first period. I believe it was 1 shot in the first 8-9 minutes. And they just went to work. And, kudos to that first, the bottom 6 there really stepping up and scoring some big goals. And you saw Max Pacioretty go into the net. Bobby McMahon just putting those pucks on net. So we talked about it in the pregame show, just about simplifying their game, playing in north-south hockey, but most importantly, getting to the net in traffic. And Markstrom, who's a great National Hockey League goalie, if he sees it, he's going to stop it. But when you have that traffic and you have that buy-in, this Toronto Maple Leafs team now, coupled with that talent, it's going to be a tough team to beat on a consistent basis.
I just like watching the bottom 6 because they played in a manner that the bottom 6 has never played before, with all due respect to the guys that were on it. We're talking about the physicality of both of those lines. That even includes Nick Robertson, who was able to maintain himself and fight off a situation where he could have turned the puck over in the power play, used his strength. Now, I'm not talking about running guys through the boards. I'm talking about gaining your space on the ice and maintaining it, which is not an easy thing to do. You did that as a player, didn't you?
Yes, but I was probably 6 inches taller and 100 pounds heavier. Not 100, but 45. But I think for him, it's, he's been the definition of Berube type hockey, where he's been getting a lot of compliments and accolades for his play away from the puck. And we know when the puck is on his stick, he can put the puck on the net, scoring 20-goal pace last year. But on that McMahon goal, he's coming through the neutral zone. He makes a power move and he splits through 3 players and gets the puck in deep. And it's one thing just to chip the puck for the sake of chipping it. They're chipping and charging and chipping to get possession back. So that is a deadly combination with that skill that they have, where they can, play the ring around the rosy in that puck possession game. But when that bottom 6 is out there just playing that heavy game and not just killing the clock, waiting for the top 6 to get back there, that depth and, that group of, we have 4 lines going out, it's very difficult for the opposition. So Sheldon Keefe had his hands full just because I think they got outpaced, they got outskated for the most part. Specialty teams almost got them back into the game, but that depth and especially that play by the 4th line really took the game over tonight.
Well, I'm going to say this, the bottom 6 forwards and throw in Reeves. So there's 7 guys that you can count on to deliver on a nightly basis, not necessarily scoring, but playing that kind of hockey. Throw in the shot blocking, and those are 2 key components to any team that goes deep in the playoffs is the ability to get depth, performance, and shot blocking, and that covers up a lot of warts, doesn't it?
100%. And, you go and you look at the score sheet, and typically in years past, you're seeing a lot of zeros where there's no shots on goal, there's no block shots, there's no hits. And, there's coaches in the past where they want you to have a combination of 5 hits, shots, or block shots, and they call it that 5 factor, and a lot of players hit that. When you hit that 5 factor, or you hit guys getting over that 5 factor, you're going to win a lot more games than you don't. And then for a player like Lorentz, who had 4 or 5 shots last game, to now continue that and getting pucks on net and going to the net, it's really contagious when that's sort of built into your natural system. So again, we know the team can score goals. We know the Matthews and the Marners are going to not be sort of stuck in neutral like they were the last couple of games. They were 2 big important pieces and 2 talented, but to have success in this league, you got to have guys that are contributing that aren't just the superstars. And kudos to the opposition. They are zeroing in. They're taking the time and space away from Matthews and Marner. So it's not them struggling. I think it's just they're just being zeroed in on. The timing's a little off right now, but I'm sure they're going to pick it up a lot sooner than later.
I'm curious if you can go back in your memory over maybe 2 or 3 years that when the Leafs would play, it seemed to me that you'd have players on the ice looking to see for one of those star players to sort of do something or lead the way. You certainly don't see that now.
Yeah, 100%. In years past, if a combination of 2 or 3 of the big 4 weren't having a good game, they had nothing. They had nothing. So the fact that I think Tavares, he scored the goal too, but he wasn't having a spectacular game by any sense of the word. It just now gives those guys a bit of a rest and taking the pressure off of their shoulders. Yes, when push comes to shove, we know those big guys are going to be counted on, but it's a really good sigh of relief and a really good, good for team morale morale, knowing that there's other guys that can chip in, not just physically, not just morally, not just in the dressing room, but on the score sheet as well.
You got shot blocking defensemen. You've got big defensemen that keep you to the outside. I mean, those two things right there are a big step forward compared to the way it used to be with this team.
Yeah, and, there's a lot of guys that I didn't notice on the back end, and that's good, right? Yeah. Someone's making a good outlet pass. I'm like, yeah, who is that? And, every time I ask, it's a different person, right? Yeah. And, great job by Tanev, too, and he's a pleasure to watch, just seeing that professionalism and the way that he just gets pucks out, and he's not afraid to exit the puck in front of the net, and just the calm, cool, and collectiveness back there on the D, and there's not really guys getting caught, and they're not the fleetest of foot. They do have a lot of size. They're playing some great hockey, and you're looking at a player like Larson, who had another strong game as well. So if I'm Coach Berube, it's a great problem to have, knowing that you have different options, different guys stepping up, not as opposed to looking at your lineup card saying, man, we need these two players to go tonight. If not, we're in trouble.
Well, let's zero in the blue line. I mean, you've got 5 guys there that they're not going to miss a game unless there's an injury. So really what you're talking about is rotating the 6th guy if in fact there's a stumble from Timmins, and then you go to Liljegren, Myers, or Hakanpää when he's around. There's some depth there that they haven't had before, because I don't think that you would ever say before, here are the 5 guys and we'll rotate a 6th guy in if in fact we have to. It was not sketchy, but sort of an incomplete picture before.
100%. And I think with Craig Berube and his system, there's going to be that accountability where, I know you're saying there's 5 out of 6, but there might be some guys that sit just based on a bad block of games. And, Connor Timmins, I think he's going to, keep up his trend where he just quietly goes about his business. And you look at a 5-game segment and he has 4 assists randomly. He did have the assist tonight with the penalty, along with just under 15 minutes, too. But, I just want to touch on the Liljegren situation, right? What changed between training camp or the off season when they committed that money to him? And this is a team that's a bit in a cap crunch, being $1 American under the under the salary cap. I really wonder what changed between then and now. And again, yes, coming into camp and being in shape, and those are all expectations. So if he wasn't going to fit into this lineup or this system, what changed to make that decision now as opposed to trading him in the offseason too? But again, Toronto and the media, and I know we're the media, we'll catch on to that story a lot sooner than later. There's a lot more positives and other players to focus on at this point.
Just to close that thought off, though, it couldn't be any much more than they asked him to do something and he didn't do it. I mean, what else? Why else would you not be playing?
Yeah, well, again, we can talk, they could talk, but I look at his numbers, and he was 90th in defenseman scoring last year, right? So I'm sure that's what the agent said when they signed that deal. But again, there's going to be casualties when you have new management and a new coaching staff coming in. But I heard on the the broadcast, and I heard Bonesy talking about it. They're developing goaltenders, and for me, since Morgan Rielly, who was the last defenseman that this team has really developed and put into a major role, right? And I talk about the Benoits, and these guys are excellent players, the McCabe's, but how can you not draft and develop a $1 million defenseman and a $4.5 million defenseman? So again, I think for them, they have to be a little bit more particular, because if you want to have long-term success, you have to draft, develop, and give guys an opportunity or give them a chance to fail. And I just think to be giving up at Liljegren at this point, I think it's a little bit premature, especially in a cap world, and you need young guys that need to step up and perform for your team.
They've gone through a lot of draft picks that were defensemen that didn't pan out, not only here but elsewhere. I mean, it's not like you would say this one got away. The Sandin thing didn't work out, and he'll be an NHL defenseman for a while. But I don't know that he lives up to the first round status that he had. And Liljegren's sort of the same, isn't he?
Yeah, but when describing the sort of the insecurities or what's faulting on the power play, I think he can be that guy. And again, we could discuss it to the cows come home, but again, for me, I think it's a bit of a mismanagement of the cap and giving up on a young player. And I'm a firm believer, yes, it takes until about 25, 26 to develop a defenseman, but you can turn a guy into a 26-minute defenseman and an impact defenseman, just giving them that opportunity. But I understand where the Leafs are at. They can't necessarily afford to have a guy falter with what's at stake right now with this group, with the window that they have to compete. So I understand both sides of it, but you're looking at some of these other teams where they have diamonds in the rough. They have guys that are third rounders, fourth rounders that are stepping in. And before Robertson and Nyes, just go over the last couple of years of the Maple Leafs. When's the last time they had a second rounder on this roster, let alone the first rounder? So that's part of it. But again, they've done an excellent job in free agency. They've done an excellent job in trading for guys that are coming in and being everyday impact NHL players. It's just, for me, to have that success every single year, you have to sprinkle in some guys that are drafted and developed from your system.
Well, and that's why the Dennis Hildeberry story, I mean, the other void was, developing goaltenders. And then there could be a chance that when Wall gets healthy and Hildeby down the road, they've developed both. I think you'd have to go back to Bester and Reggett to have a combo that was drafted and developed.
Yeah, that's when was that? 19 when?
That's in the mid 80s. That's a long time ago, my friend. You're talking 40 years.
Yeah, I think I was living in Montreal at that time, in LaSalle, Quebec. But but that's a part of it. And again, you're seeing now they do have a new scouting staff too. So I'm really interested to see some of the guys that come in. But they're slowly building this roster in the eyes of Treliving, where it's big, strong, and you can see tonight they take away a lot of time and space. We know the New Jersey Devils are high-flying teams, but they had to work to sort of penetrate and get to that net, and they did a great job protecting Hilleby tonight.
So Hildeby gets the win. He stopped 23 of 25, and in the postgame, Coach Craig Berube on Hildeby's first win as a Maple Leaf and first in the NHL.
Yeah, I thought he was solid. I mean, he got tested, on their power play for sure, and he came up big. I thought he made some real good saves for us, and very happy for him.
Did you sense any nerves out of middle?
No, not really. I mean, he looked fine before the game, and to me, he looked pretty calm in net overall. He's just tracking the puck well, playing it. I mean, he looked pretty calm to me.
Your bottom six players contribute big time in the first period. They're doing what you want them to do.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they were. I thought they were really good tonight. They just hounded on the forecheck and playing hard down low, and got rewarded with some, greasy goals around the net, which. We gotta keep improving on that, and we're getting there.
When a guy is scratched one night and scores the next, is that like a coaching strategy? You sort of go, yeah, that works.
No. I mean, we have extra guys, so not everybody can play every night, and you got to try to put a lineup together you think's the most effective that night. So that's all that was.
What do you think's happening with the power play that it looks sort of scrabbled?
Just our entries aren't very good, for one. We're just, both teams we played, the line's pretty stacked, right? And we're not putting pucks in and just going and work and getting them back. So that's one area. And the other area for me is it's just we're not attacking and shooting enough. Like, we're kind of passing it around, we're looking to pass it in the net rather than, just attacking and shooting, getting pucks there, recoveries and things like that. So, and, there are some plays that are there. We're just not seeing them right now. We're not quick enough making them. We had a backdoor play to Riley. It's just, if it's quicker, it's a goal, right? There's plays there, but they're not seeing it clean right now. We got to, look at some video with them and then work on it.
What do you think discipline has been a bit of an issue? Is it too amped up? Or
yeah, maybe. I mean, we got to be better for sure. It's there's 3 penalties for me that they're non-negotiables. There's no reason for them.
What do you appreciate about the Lorenzo's game?
I mean, he's a second and third effort guy, but he's smart, knows how to play the game the right way defensively. Has a real good stick, and he's big and long, gets in the way. That's really what his game is.
After the 4-2 win in New Jersey, Stu, just before we break, talking about the power play, the entries, and maybe not getting the shot off fast enough. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I think he was 100% correct, but I think the key to that was the puck retrievals, and he really keyed on that, and that is, you get the shot off finally, or it hits a stick and it goes into the corner. They're not retrieving those pucks, and elite teams and elite power plays do that consistently. So for me, I think there was a couple power plays where they had except the one power play where they had 0 shots. So I think the one thing is the way that you correct that is maybe with accountability, and we know that top unit is going to take them to the promised land, but maybe giving that second unit that is their forte, getting to the net, shooting that puck, giving them maybe a couple extra, let them start. So I'm sure they're too talented. It's going to even itself out, but he was really correct on those entries. If you can't get into the zone and set up, you're killing 40 seconds every power play, and that's a big, big problem.
I mean, that's just being proactive, right? Instead of waiting for the play to work, just to understand that you have to have an option when it doesn't work. They're just sort of watching, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll just talk it up. I blame the kickback. No more kickback. No, but I think what you need to do is have a variety. And early on in the season, you sort of you get stuck because teams study you. So you have once you get into the season and you get to practicing, you can practice different options. You can practice, see what works versus what doesn't. But in training camp, you only have X amount of time to really get what you need to teach. That's why you need those practices. And starting the game off on the road doesn't help. So I'm sure once you get 3-4 practices at home and you get to see some video and doing all that, I'm sure they'll definitely improve.
The Leafs win at 4-2 in New Jersey. Come home for their home openers Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Every fantasy football champion makes one defining move.
You are just a season-long fantasy football player. Don't overvalue wide receiver, cornerback. Seriously.
Fantasy Sports Radio can help you make that move.
Use your bench to improve your lineup. That's what your bench is for. This week is proving why that's the case.
Listen to the best analysts for lineup advice, trade questions, and roster moves. Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them. Because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete